Are we live?
And we are live. This is New Hampshire Track and Field, and we are here with the Wilderness Championship up at Guilford. We are about to start the 4x8s for girls. And the first leg of the girls 4x8 is off. And as we're still trying to figure out a couple things, we apologize for the time. The time might not show up right now, but we are off.
Just been assured we will be having start listen over here as soon as they're ready.
We didn't get a time.
This is NewHampshireTrackField.com coming at you from the 2018 Wilderness League Championships. We are here at Guilford High School. The 4x8 just started. In this race we have Kennett, Guilford, Portsmouth Christian, Belmont, Kingswood, Interlakes, and Messinic. We are really happy to be here. We're powered by Runners Alley. We're really happy to be here. This is the 46th year this meet has been contested. It's one of the oldest and most traditional New Hampshire track and field meet in the entire state. And we have Portsmouth Christian in the lead, Guilford in second, Kennett in third, Belmont in fourth. They're off to great starts. Kingswood's in fifth. I would say those are going to be your top five teams right now, but watch out for Interlakes and obviously Messinic under Coach Mike Smith. They always have good distance crews. So we'll see what happens here. But we're just on the second lap of the first leg. And I'm here with Evan Tangway, a senior at Co-Brown who just can't get enough track. He just can't get enough track and field, so he's here on Saturday.
I love being around it. It seems like a pretty nice day so far. Not too much wind on the track, so should be ideal conditions for the 4x8 and any of the distance events. As we're coming in for the first handoff, it looks like Portsmouth Christian is in the lead. Pretty comfortable right now, going in for the handoff.
And looking down the line, I see they have Liza Corso as their anchor. She just ran a 5:11, I believe, last week. And so if she gets the lead, if she gets it with a leg to go with the anchor, she's probably going to put it away.
And I mean, when you have that comfortable of a lead, I mean, the handoffs you don't necessarily have to focus on as much, but you always want to kind of work on it because when it gets to the championship part of the season, which is really starting now, it's going to start counting, especially at state meet.
So Portsmouth Christian's doing the right thing right here. She's taking off pretty good the first 200. Kennett's making a big move. I think she might be doing a little bit too much too soon.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much, but who knows?
Guilford's being pretty smart. We're just kind of running her race. But let's see what happens. What a beautiful setting, though, Evan.
I love the scenery.
Got a track, and then we have the track with the hills, probably parts of the Belknap Mountains.
Everything's just around. You're kind of surrounded, which is very different from some of the other meets that are happening around the state right now. And you kind of get that cross-country feel with the track.
Kennett has eaten into that lead of Portsmouth Christian, but they still have another lap to go.
We'll see if she can hold off. She did have that burst down that back straight. We'll see if she can keep the pedal to the floor and kind of gain a little bit, or if she'll drop off. But we'll wait to see on this next lap.
So Kennett is still rolling pretty good. He's only about 15 meters behind. Let's see with 250 to go if she could eat into that lead a little bit. I would imagine Kennett has a very nice and balanced team. Bernie Livingston and his wife Eileen Livingston have been coaching up there for, I'll just say, X amount of years. And they kind of know what they're doing. They've raised their whole family. They're like the first family of New Hampshire track and field and cross country, especially in the North Country. But they always have balanced teams. And so I would expect they're doing the same pace all the way through.
And it looks like she started to eat into the lead a little bit, but it looks like
Here comes a
Portsmouth
good
Christian
kick.
is kicking away, trying to open up a little bit more of a gap for this third leg. Do you want me to start it for this leg?
Mm-hmm.
And as Kennett gets it in second, about a 40 or so meter gap.
Tell you what, if Portsmouth Christian keeps this gap, they're going to win the race. Just looking at the anchor legs, it's just much respect to Liza Corso because she's really starting to drop times. Be really interesting to see what happens at Meet of Champions because she assuredly will make it, and really see her mix it up with some of the bigger schools. She had a great cross country season also. Kingswood handing off.
So as we're coming around, Portsmouth Christian still in the lead. Kennett's trying to close the gap a little bit going into that last lap of the third leg.
Yeah, the race is definitely not over yet.
There's still a chance,
see.
but they're going to have to make a move on this next lap.
I'd imagine Corso could run close to 220 to between 220 and 225. So that would mean that the Kennett leg would have to run under 220 to beat her. So
and that would be very, very.
That's rare. I mean, it's just
rare. Yeah.
You break 220 in New Hampshire with the shortened spring track season. You're doing wonderfully. Probably one of the better 800-meter runners in New England if you're doing that, especially with the short spring we've had this year. But I would expect times and performances to really start dropping down some bombs the next few weeks because kids are now fit. They got track fit. They've knocked their rust out from the whole winter time. They've been on enough meets. I would really expect if we are fortunate enough to get good weather over the next few weeks, New Hampshire's going to flex its muscle again.
Well, and that's the thing is we kind of had that delay start with the weather has been really weird in the first couple of weeks. So you kind of already got that shortened season with the delayed start. And yeah, I agree. I think this next week's state meet and to meet the champions, you're going to see a lot of PRs and a lot of times that are dropping.
Okay, here comes Corso. She's about to receive. We'll get a split on this first one. We're sorry about the clock. We started a little bit. This is a Scott Clark run meet, so all of a sudden the meet started. We're ready to go. We'll be out of here in an hour. So a great leg. Third leg will be about 232, 233, 234. There goes Corso. She probably has a big day ahead of her, so she'll probably just do enough to win, but very efficient runner.
They got a nice gap, about 75 meters or so. Pretty comfortable. She's able to relax kind of as much as she wants right now, but we'll see what she does.
And Kennett's in second very comfortably. So I would almost hazard a guess your top two teams assuredly would be Portsmouth Christian, Kennett, and then we have Guilford and Belmont.
Belmont could make a run for third, but they're going to have to really make a move on this next lap and a half to get up with her with Belmont.
They definitely are in striking distance. Let's see what happens.
And Portsmouth Christian is definitely running away with it right now. No one will catch them.
Well, they're starting to lap the field. They have put together, coaching staff there has put together a nice small program, but they're a very quality program and always great kids, very polite and hardworking, without a track. Kingswood with the handoff.
Going to the second lap.
Liza's gone through in 69.70.
So at this pace, she will be in that
220 range.
220 range.
We'll see what she does the second lap. A lot of times, when you have a lead like that, you drop the first lap as you normally would, and then you try to relax a little bit. Cut the amount of racing done.
Yeah, we were talking about she more than likely has a pretty big day ahead of her trying to do double or triple in a couple of events. So, I mean, it would make sense if she started to slow down, but looking at her right now, she's keeping it strong. She looks good on the back straightaway. And it looks like that gap is actually opened up to close to 100 meters or so.
You've had a couple experiences where you're in the lead like this. What are you doing when you're in the lead like this? What are you thinking? Do your coaches kind of tell you what to do?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is really listen to the coaches. Like we were just talking about, if she's going to ease up or she's going to keep grinding it out. And it looks like she's just going to kind of keep grinding out, keep the pace. But, yeah, when I'm in those situations, it's really listening to the commands and working with it. If they say pick it up. If they want you to kind of keep it strong, keep that form is the biggest thing.
Oh, she's definitely keeping her form. She's at 220, 221, 222, 223. She just ran a leg at 223, 224, about 224 flat. Oh, she looked great doing it.
So she did slow down a little bit on that last lap, but not taking anything away from her. It was a great leg.
I think she gave it everything she had. Maybe a lot of great athletes don't know any different.
That's very true.
And they're just going to do what they got to do. Kennett is second, so 10 points for Portsmouth Christian off the bat. Expect some big things for Portsmouth Christian today. They might not have the largest team in the world, but they're going to be scoring points everywhere.
Well, especially with athletes taking triple or double and triple. You can get a lot of points with a lot of different people. Guilford coming in the last two legs. We're about a 5:45. Belmont coming in fourth.
We'll have results for you too. Meet management is assured of that, and when meet management here assures us of something, it happens.
Coming down straightaway, it looks like Kingswood.
AT.
Looking pretty strong, and then you got looks like Interlakes. And then it looks like possibly Messina coming in right behind them.
And here's Messina. And that concludes the girls 4x8, and here we up with the boys 4x8. I think this is gonna be easy now, right, Evan?
Yeah, this will be get the timing going, and should be a pretty good one.
I see Kingswood, and Kingswood has one of the better times in the whole state. So
yes.
Only 6 teams so far. So it looks like we got Kingswood, Messina, Belmont. Who's the blue team? Kearsarge and Berlin.
And we are off. We have the timing going this time, so you should be able to get the whole race.
Congratulations, Evan. That's great. That's phenomenal.
And Kingswood going out pretty hard. It looks like Messina's going to try to go with them and try to stay with them for at least this first lap. It's really going to come down. If Messina wants to take down Kingswood, they're going to have to stick with them the whole time and really try to see if they can gap them at all, or just try to see if they can outkick them at the very end. But it's already separating. You got a nice pack of 2 in the front, and then you're going to have a pack of 3. Battle for third could be interesting. So coming around, so they're going pretty fast right now. The second lap is really going to see who has the strength. Anyone can run the first lap pretty hard. That's how the second lap goes.
Correct. I'm going to introduce Lukey Kazik. Luke Kazik is going to be doing we're very fortunate to have some high school athletes here today to do some commentating. During this 4x8, we're going to have Luke Kazik do some commentating.
And as it looks like Messina takes over, they ran through at a 62. And Kingswood is slowly dropping. We were talking about trying to gap them, and it looks like Messina will be trying to drop, hopefully get a little bit of a gap on them. And I now have Luke Kazik joining me for the rest of this boys 4x8. And you've done a couple 4x8s. How do you go into being that second or third leg going into the race? And how do you plan it? Do you know if you're ahead? Like, how do you go into that kind of race?
You just try to maintain your position, really. You don't want to go out too hard, but yet you don't want to go out too conservative. So really a mixture of both.
And it comes around, Messina is opening up a gap, it looks like Kingswood might be caught by the rest of the pack. This could be an interesting matchup if Kingswood can't. Kingswood is making a move right now. If they got to really pull together if they want Messinic to not run away with this thing. So they're coming through. Handoff at around a 65, so he did slow down that second lap. It's about a 207 or so, 206, 207 for the lead guys. And the gap isn't as big as it was, but we'll see how these laps go. They like we were talking about, especially with us yesterday, we were at Seacoast Championships. We were talking about having the thing with the 4x8 is a lot of people like to stack their first and their fourth or their anchor leg. It's really those middle legs that can make or break a whole race. So, I mean, we'll see how these teams work. Messinic is pulling away right now. We'll see if Kingswood has anything on this second lap of the second leg. And so it looks like it's Pooler for Kingswood right now. Valancourt for Messinic, who is really trying to make a gap, pull away a little bit. Jackson for Belmont, Kellogg for Kearsarge, and it looks like Poulin for Berlin on the second leg. And he goes through at around a 64.
Yep.
Pretty good. It's a little bit slower than the lead leg, but you also have to realize that the lead leg did slow down on that second lap. So if he can keep that, that's going to be a solid time, if not drop a little bit.
Also, running on your own is a little bit harder, especially when you have people chasing you.
Well, you have people chasing you that can work together. If you look, the second, third, and fourth guys are all together, which does actually help with the wind. You have one guy kind of breaking through, and you have the rest of the guys that kind of work, take some laps, and take some speed, where if you're by yourself, you have to do it all on your own. So that fatigue can hit you a little bit differently when you're not in a group and you're by yourself. But it doesn't seem to be affecting Valancourt, as he is still gapping them with about 30 to 35 meters. He's coming around the final straightaway, going to the third leg with a pretty comfortable gap.
Valancourt is a freshman too.
So he's really putting in the work. He's looking good. Chin down. Form looks pretty solid. Kingswood's going to really have to step it up if the it's coming down. It's three-way right now. And they hand it off at around a 46, so he did drop some time. It wasn't too bad, but they still got a nice gap. And believe it or not, Kingswood has actually dropped to fourth. They're now in third
place.
We'll see how this third leg.
They're going out pretty hard. They're about to make the pass to go to second. They're in second.
And we have Stinchfield for Kingswood in the third leg. Messinic Regional has Samaro, Papadopoulos for Belmont, and Lick for Kearsarge, as well as Sullivan for Berlin.
Kingswood seems to be closing in on Messinic.
Kingswood is trying to really make up some time, but the thing is, did he go out too hard? We'll see how he comes through that first lap. But as we talked about, these middle two legs, it can really make or break the race. Yep. And we'll see what Messinic does, if he's going to drop some time, if he's going to keep it consistent. But this could be why Kingswood is one of the better 4x8 teams in the state, if their third leg can really pull this together.
Yes, he could get them back in the race, and then they could just finish strong.
And as he goes through at a 66, it's not too bad. It's pretty consistent with the rest of the guys, especially in this last the second leg. But it looks like Kingswood is slowing down a little bit, like we talked about.
And Messinic looks to be opening up his stride pretty good.
So Messinic did go a little conservative on that lap. We're going to see what he does right now. Maybe he might be able to drop some time, if not be around the same time. And the gap is not necessarily, he's opening up a tiny bit, not too much, but Kingswood's really going to have to make a move right now if they want to have a shot at this. And yeah, Messinic is really opening up right now. Going into the final straightaway, Messinic in first, with about a 30 to 40 meter gap on second place Kingswood. Coming around the corner, Messinic does look tired, but you gotta understand that he did hammer this last lap. And we're gonna see the handoff. Kingswood is still looking pretty strong, but he did drop the time. And about a 63, 64, so it was actually faster, like we talked about. Kingswood in second. And we hand off. Going into the anchor leg, we have
Huckman from Kingswood,
Turner from Messinic, Whitcomb from Belmont, Pauling from Kearsarge, and Young for Berlin in the anchor leg. And Messinic looks like they want to take this away from them. They're really trying to open it up right now. But then again, we have seen many people go out a little bit too hard in the first lap and kind of die off in the second. So we're going to see. But the anchor leg always tends to be very, very aggressive. And they like to really grind it out, kind of try to stay consistent both laps. Messinic coming through.
What was that?
Messina coming through at around a 60, give or take. It might have been around like a 58, 59, but still hammering. And Kingswood is not really giving up too much space, but Belmont looks like they could be going, kind of gaining a little bit on Kingswood, but it looks like this could be could be the final, the final order of things if everything plays out this way.
Yeah, Messinic looks to be just pulling it in.
Messinic has a nice gap.
Yep.
Scenic, yeah, about 200 meters to go. They have about a 50-meter gap. They have increased the gap, and Kingswood to Belmont, it looks like they have about a 30-meter gap. So I don't see things changing too much as Messina comes around in the final straightaway, looking strong,
Probably
great
coming
form.
in about 8:30, pretty good time.
And we'll see how this drops down. And Messinic with 8:32, solid time, very solid time. That puts them right in the running for, I believe, Division II states. Kingswood coming in.
And that's
around
Belmont
8:43.
coming in fast.
Berlin coming in, 8:46. And that is your top three. You have Messinic, Kingswood, and Berlin in the top three. And we actually do have the results for the girls 4x8, which we will read to you once this race concludes. And as we have a race for fourth, it's going to be close between, looks like Kearsarge and Belmont is going to be close. It looks like Kearsarge is going to edge out Belmont at the very end. Very close finish. That was around a 9:18. Very close finish. And as we have Mr. Cox joining us again.
This is results from the girls 4x8 as we get ready for the hundreds. Girls, Portsmouth Christian won in 10 flat 75. It's one of the better times in the state. Kennett was second in 10:26.27. Guilford was third in 10:47.91. Belmont was fourth in 11:02.69. Kingswood was fifth in 11:32.89. And sixth was Interlakes, 11:41.22. And seventh was Messinic in 11:57. So here we are with the hundreds. We do have heat sheets, so we should be able to introduce you to everybody. In lane one in this first one in the men's 100, we're going to have James Williams from Prospect Mountain. Second will be Aiden Anderson from Newfound Regional. And the third lane will be Lucas Mateo from Belmont. And third lane will be Justin Schokel from Newfound. Fifth lane will be Jack Fogarty. I love that name, Fogarty. Moultonborough. Sixth lane is Cameron Anderson, Newfound Regional. Seventh lane is George Cheney from Portsmouth Christian. And eighth lane is from Laconia, Christopher Bodwin. And they're in the blocks.
And this is heat 1 of 6.
Heat 1 of 6. And we'll get the women's sheets over here as soon as possible.
And we're about ready to start the first heat. And we are off.
Fair start. Looks like Belmont, Lucas Mateo. Then you have Newfound Regional, Justin Schokel. It's going to be tight, but it will be from Moultonborough, Jack Fogarty.
And he takes it with a rat.
Giving a concert later. So unofficially, what'd you have, Evan, on that?
So around a 12 high. Very, very efficient, though. He kind of was with him in the beginning, but he really pulled off in that second half.
In the second heat, they're going to go wild and fast here because it's just the way they do it, which is awesome for track and field. When there's no dead track time, it's even better. So here we go. Trevor Garton from Portsmouth Christian will be in lane 1. Lane 2 will be Alexander Bassett from Moultonborough. Lane 3 will be Logan Montmini from Kearsarge. Eli Dupigny from Interlakes is lane 4. Mark Forgione from Belmont is lane 5. Kevin Sean Laber from White Mountains is lane 6. Sorry if we butcher anybody's names. We're going to give you that disclaimer right now. And then lane 7 will be from Kennett Dominic Perry. they have estimated they'll be done by 2 o'clock this afternoon. There's been a little bit of a forecast for rain. We thought it'd be raining by Wednesday or Thursday. We thought there would be raining by now, but it's a beautiful day here at Guilford. They're in the blocks.
And they are off.
It's a fair start.
Come on, Logan!
Looking strong. And they are really going. Interlakes in first with a comfortable lead with Belmont in second and Kearsarge third.
So that was Eli Dupigny with the win out of lane 4 from Interlakes.
Good run, Logan. Good run.
And so for the third heat, we have Claude Goyi from Portsmouth Christian, Kenneth Bryce Hill, Ben Hillsgrove from Belmont, Tucker Goslin from Kingswood, Chris Caputo from Kennett, Owen Cottrell, Kearsarge, and Eddie Mann from Belmont. And this is heat 3 of 6 in the men's 100-meter dash. And we apologize for the shaky camera. We're still trying to figure it out. It is a little windy here. It's not too bad. It's actually pretty nice weather for a track meet, and we hope this holds out.
And they're in their blocks. So that's when the starter gives the on your marks command. If you're watching, you might not know. And they'll get, once everybody's still, he'll say set. It's a fair start. Great start for Kingswood's Tucker Goslin. And he's going to carry that start all the way in.
And that was a fast heat. It was 9 high to 10 low. And it was a very close race, but it was a good race. And that's the third heat.
Results from the men's 4x8. First place was Messinic, 8:33.08. That's legit. Second place was Kingswood, 8:44.21. Third place was Berlin, 8:47.32. Fourth place was Kearsarge at 9:17.11. And fifth place was Belmont, 9:17.
And that 8:33 really does put them in contention for to really run with any team, really. I mean,
they should be looking at meeting champions. You never know. All right, men's 100 heat 4. Lane 1, Kyle Plaza from Belmont. Lane 2, Tim King from Laconia. Lane 3, William Golden from Plymouth. Lane 4, Nas, his first name's Nas. Davis from Berlin. Fifth lane is Michael Merrill from Interlakes. Sixth lane is Connor Dupuis from Belmont. And seventh lane is Ben Goslin from Kingswood. And they're on your marks position. It looks like Tim King's a scratch at a lane 2. So we have a lane 2 open. Fair start. That was a good start by Nas Davis. Let's see if he could press the button for the Nas. He does at the end, and he takes it. Mid-11s, 11-7, 11-8. We don't have live results here. Apologize, like we said. This is an old-school meet, man. They run them and gun them. And they run them and gun them, and they get them through, and they fly through it. So, which is fine with us. This is better for the kids as far as just being ready and knowing that it's going to be going fast. So lane 1 for heat 5 is Belmont's Brandon Robichaud. In lane 2 will be Plymouth, Thomas Carpenter. In lane 3 will be from Winnisquam, Hunter Hinksman. In lane 4, Hunter Dupuis. We've heard that name. They must be brothers from Belmont. Lane 5, Samuel Tuck from Franklin. Lane 6 from Belmont, Devin Bricknell. Lane 7 from Newfound Regional, Jason Liang. And they're just waiting for the starter to give them the go, to take your marks, and he has given them that command. Belmont men are the defending team champions here this year, and they did not lose a lot. So from graduation, so we could expect some pretty big things from them today. Set, and there's the gun, and that Belmont's Hunter Dupuis got a great start. But Winnisquam's Hunter Hinksman's coming back, but it will be Dupuis with this win. Jeez, were you late on that start?
I'll tag
Because that looked like 10 something.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, you were late on that start, Evan. Let's go.
Bit.
It's just like a distance runner. You know?
I know. I decided to sit down. I'm a little lazy.
We're going to run some mountains after.
Oh, you know it.
So, like we said, the Belmont boys won pretty handily last year. Expect them to do maybe the same today. And judging by these first few 100s, it's going really well so far. Heat 6 of 6. Lane 1, Keegan Moore of Laconia. Lane 2, Riley Allward of Guilford. Lane 3, Nick Travers of White Mountains. Lane 4, Gavin Magistro from Kearsarge. Lane 5, Remy Bourgeois from Plymouth. Lane 6, Rolando Sylvain Stott from Newfound. Lane 7, Owen Laner from Kingswood. When I don't do this, do you want to do this or you want Luke to do it?
It doesn't matter. I can do it. He can do it.
Okay. And they're just waiting for him to give him the on your marks.
This is the last heat of the men's 100 meter. As they're getting ready to get set.
They're doing a race once every like 90 seconds here. They should be good to go. And they're in the on your marks position. Set. Great start by Kearsarge's Gavin Magistro, and he's going to carry that all the way through to the end. Second will be Plymouth and White Mountains. So second was Plymouth's Remy Bourgeois, and third was Nick Travers from White Mountains. And that should be it. We should be shifting over to the girls. We're still waiting on those sheets.
So as we're getting ready for the girls' 100 meter, we're actually waiting for the start sheet, so I'm not quite sure how many heats we will have. But getting ready for the first heat, and we're going to see how this goes. They're not quite ready or set yet, but we will try our best to keep the timing consistent and as accurate as possible for you folks watching from home.
No, Luke, no. I need the sheets from John. I have no idea who's in the next race. I need the sheets right now.
It looks like they're going to get set for the first heat.
Okay, so in this first heat, there'll be 6 heats. Lane 1 is Bishop Brady's Emily Bean. Lane 2 is Jada Lapierre from Franklin. Lane 3 is Kayla Budd from Kearsarge. And it looks like Franklin has a great start, and that is Jada Lapierre.
But Belmont looks like it could. Yeah, Belmont will win this with
Gabrielle Day. Gabrielle Day takes that one.
With Franklin getting second, and it looks like Kearsarge third. Going into heat 2.
Heat 2 in lane 1 is Asher Sleeper from Woodsville. In lane 2 is Emma Gorman from Belmont. In lane 3 is Lindsay Borges from Franklin. In lane 4 is Skylar Tuckus from Laconia. There is no lane 5. Lane 6 is Samantha Enian Mortonborough. Where did lane 5 go? How did they take lane 5 out of the track? Lane 7 is Megan Stafford from Newfound Regional. Lane 8 is Lily Wright from Newfound Regional.
The next one. As we're getting set for heat 2. And they are really cooking. They're really getting these hundreds out of the way. It's kind of nice. And as they're getting set, and we are off with heat 2. A pretty good start from Franklin. And it looks like Plymouth will take the win with Laconia getting second and Franklin coming in third.
They did have a lane 5. That was Tara Smoker from Plymouth. Good thing she's a runner.
And going into the the third heat, we have Julia Connolly from Winnisquam, Cheyenne Seymour from Newfound Regional, Aria Sweeney from White Mountains, Amy Combs from Newfound Regional. In lane 5, you'll have Allison Kelly from Moultonborough, Ashley Olson in 6, Brian Doobie from Berlin, and Delaney Ross from Laconia. As we're getting set for the fourth heat, we have Bella Cronin from White Mountains, Olivia Eastman from Plymouth Regional, Brianna Fraser from Guilford, Elizabeth Morrison from Kingswood, Laurel Gingrich from Guilford, Abigail Shagina from Bishop Brady, and Sarah Bella Fleur from Kingswood, as well as Caitlin DeLeasley from Belmont. And again, we're sorry for butchering any names. And looks like Marlboro will take it. And it looks like Marlboro, you have
Boys and girls.
All right, heat 5. We have in lane 1 Julia Rose from Newfound. Lane 2, from Laconia, Victoria Dean. Lane 3, Holly Olson from Portsmouth Christian. Lane 4, Alexis Stonis from Plymouth. Lane 5, Mackenzie French from Winnisquam. Lane 6, Michaela Smith from Woodsville. Lane 7, Caitlin Dozatel from Kearsarge. And lane 8, Destiny Medici from Laconia.
Do we need anything else from him right now or no? So getting ready for the fifth heat.
All right, qualifiers in the men's 100 meters. We run at the beginning of the official meet. Jack Fogarty of Moultonborough. Macau Merrill of
Fair start.
Gavin Magistro
And that's
Nash Davis of Berlin. Hunter Dupuy of Belmont. Chris
Guilford.
O'Hara of Kennett. Eli DePigny of Interlake. And Tucker Gosden of Kingswood.
now it's Brianna Frazier.
For the 100 coming up after the break.
Brianna Frazier winning that one from lane 3. Her teammate Laurel Gingrich right on the backside of that, so perfect. So heat 5 is next.
And in Heat 5, we have Julia Rose from Newfound Regional, Victoria Dean from Laconia. We have Holly Olson from Portsmouth Christian, Alexis Stonis from Plymouth Regional, Mackenzie French from Winnisquam, Michaela Smith from Woodsville, Caitlin Dizotto, Kearsarge, and Destiny Medici from Laconia.
You know, Evan, you were a race off on those introductions. You told me the wrong heat.
I don't believe that was my fault.
You told me the wrong heat.
I believe it was our paper manager,
No,
Hayden Cox.
Yeah, I wonder who his parents are.
Yeah, I wonder. Someone messed up.
And they're set. Great start. Put in by Plymouth Regional's Alexis Stonis, and she might carry that all the way through.
And it looks like she will. Plymouth coming in pretty comfortable. Portsmouth Christian is second.
She's 12 low 13s. So that was Alexis Stonis taking that heat. And you might be wondering, these are trials, so what makes it back is the top is the winner per heat in the next 2 advance on the men's side. And it should be the same on the girls' side because there's the same amount of heats on the girls' side. In this heat, lane 1, We have Sarah Sponenberg from Bishop Brady in lane 2, McKenna Edgar from Interlakes in lane 3, Carly Boothby from Kennett in lane 4, Gabby Isabel from Winnisquam in lane 5. In lane 5, we have Greta Achenbach from Interlakes, lane 6, Katie Bedell from White Mountains, lane 7, Kelsey Chase from White Mountains, lane 8, Promise Veroff from Guilford.
And as we're waiting, they are getting set for this last heat of the girls' trials in the 100 meter. And we are off, and it's a false start. We will reset that, and we will try it again, hopefully not getting another false start. So we're going to try to do this again. Not exactly quite sure who false started, but with the false start.
Are they keeping everybody in?
It looks like they're keeping everyone in.
All right.
Which we've seen over, especially indoor, there's been a couple incidents where there have been people that have had to leave the race, which it's always kind of a shame when that happens, but especially in the championship season, you got to do what you have to do sometimes. And they're off.
Fair start. Gabby Isabel had a good start from Winnisquam at the start. It looks like she's going to carry it through. She's going to take this one.
Looking really good. Kennett in second.
Second, Kennett. That's Carly Boothby, and then Interlakes Carly Achenbach was third. So making it back to finals, it definitely was Gabby from Winnisquam. And we'll get the finals to you. Making it back to finals on the men's side. Making it back to finals will be Tucker Gosselin from Kingswood. Interlakes Eli DePugny. Kennett Chris Caputo. Belmont's Hunter Dupuis. Berlin's Nas Davis. Gavin Magistro from Kearsarge. Michael Merrill from Interlakes, and Jack Fogarty from Moultonborough. And they have an 8-lane straightaway here, so it's actually really, really cool. As they're setting up the hurdles, we wanted to give you that. So the hurdles are going to be run the same way. They have 2 heats of the men's hurdles. I'll do those first, and then they have 3 heats of the women's hurdles, and they'll take the hurdles off the track and do the finals in the 100 and the hurdles, and then we'll hit the mile. So just looking at the preview and judging from the preview, what you expect to see today, as far as teams are concerned, we started talking about this before, but then they were flying as far as the races were concerned. So boys' favorite on the boys' side is definitely Belmont, but you can't count out Kingswood, Kearsarge, or Portsmouth Christian. They're very, very good. And on the girls' side, Kennett pulled off the win last year, and they, like we said, they have a big team, and they could score in a multitude of events. But look to Guilford. Guilford basically returns everyone, and they have phenomenal 4x4 and 4x1 relays. When you have great 4x4 and 4x1 relays, that means you have kids that have ranges from 100 all the way up to 800, maybe even the mile. That also means that you can very easily just span all the events and score points in many, many different ways. So watch for Guilford. They were 5th last year. We're watching for them moving up this year. And then White Mountains and the Interlakes always have great teams.
Well, and we were talking about that 4x4 and the 4x1. When you look at the state meet, you have that 4x4 at the end, and with that, you have a lot of points at the end, and you look back at it, you can win a state meet just at the end. And so when you have that ability to have the 4x4 and a strong 4x4 and that, you could actually win a championship just on that one race when it comes down to it. And so the sprinting squad, if they have such a young squad and they're strong, it's going to be really good for them in the future.
And coming up on the guys' hurdles, we should be looking at Fiston Kapongo from Portsmouth Christian. His speed between the hurdles just makes him dangerous in all sprints, but especially the hurdles. And on the girls' side, you have Tamo Ronish from White Mountains and Emma Wheeler, who basically does everything on the track and in the field with jumps, and Sana Syed from Belmont. They should all challenge. But, again, we're looking at the trials, and so I would say it's a winner of each heat. The next few fastest, it just depends on what that is. But we're going to turn this over. Luke Kazik is going to announce the hurdles for the first time in the history of his life, and we'll see how he does. But we're going to turn it over to Luke and Evan.
Get ready for some comedy gold right here. Luke Kasich, welcome back. As we're getting ready for the guys' trials and the hurdles. And
Hello, Evan.
so, Luke, you have a little bit of experience with the hurdles. As you, where did your experience come from? You want to explain a little?
The Clipper relays, I did the steeplechase.
And how did that go for you?
It went pretty well. It got pretty tiring because it was a 1200. It's a lot more tiring than just running around.
Than you think, yeah. So as we're talking about the hurdles, actually this first heat of 2, we have Riley Alward from Guilford, William Walker from Kearsarge, Matt Libby from Newfound Regional, Ben Corbin from Kearsarge, and Patrick Kelly from Interlakes. And it looks like we will have 6 in this first heat. Actually, it could be 5. So it doesn't look like we have a lane 1. And we could have a lane 1. I'm not possibly. We'll see when it comes down to it. But as of right now, we're going to get ready for this.
There is only 5.
It looks like there's 5 according to the start sheet, and they could have slid them over to lanes 1 through 5. Not looking. Yeah, okay. So from this angle, it looks like it looked like they could have slid them over, but it
I don't think so.
It
I
doesn't
think
look like they
they're-
actually did, and we were just talking it over. And so yeah, the order is still going to remain the same. Guilford in lane 2, Kearsarge in 3, Newfound Regional in 4, Kearsarge in 5, and Interlakes in 6. As we're getting ready for the first heat of 2 in the men's.
Get ready.
And we are
Go.
off.
There you go.
And it looks like Newfound Regional with pretty good start, and then you have Kearsarge, Ben Corbin coming up behind him, but it
Yeah,
looks like
look, Matt Libby.
Libby is doing really good right now, and it looks like he's going to run away with this one.
Yep. Oh.
As he in around a 16 high or so, with Ben Corbin right on his tail. And so we're going to move into the second heat.
There's only going to be 5 people in the second heat. In lane 2, it's going to be Sean Breen from Portsmouth Regional. Lane 3 is Helmer's Dance Switch. Sorry on the pronunciation if that's wrong. From Newfound Regional. Fiston Kapongo from Portsmouth Christian. Dakota Cross from Laconia. And Eric Smith from Kennett in lane 6.
And again, this will be lanes 2 through 6. There won't be a lane 1, and there won't be a lane 7 or 8. So as we have 5 runners, and this is the second heat out of 2. And again, the winners from each of the heats, I think, automatically make it to finals. And with that, we will then the next couple fastest will also make it into the final.
Oh,
And we
there
are
you go.
off again. And it looks like Newfound Regional, Danswich Helmers, looking pretty good. But at the same time, we're talking Fiston Kapongo is taking off right now. Fiston Kapongo has opened up a big lead coming through, and he will blow out the competition. And in Laconia, you have Dakota Cross in second
That's
with a 16
16.
low. It looks like Kapongo coming in.
It's about 4. Thank you. All right.
So as we have the finals for the women's 100 meters, looks like Allison Kelly from Maltonborough, Alexis Stonis from Plymouth Regional, Gabby Isabel from Winnisquam, Tara Smoker from Plymouth Regional, Carly Boothby from Kennett, Brianna Frazier from Guilford, and Skylar Totkus from Laconia.
Qualifiers for the girls 100 meters. Gabrielle Day, Belmont.
So guys, we're going to hop into the girls 100-meter hurdles.
This is also another lanes 2 through 7 this time. So in lane 2 is Reese Clark from Guilford. Lane 3 is Grace Hardy from Prospect Mountain. Lane 4 is Santa Side from Belmont. Lane 5 is Sarah Dubois from Moultonborough. And lane 6 is Ashlyn Topin from Bishop Brady. And lane 7 is Angel Lynn from Portsmouth Christian.
Finalists in the girls' javelin. A need to report over to javelin for finals. Samantha Meyer of Plymouth. Jasmine Peterson of Newfound. Jocelyn Lantine of Berlin.
So they're just doing a couple runouts, seeing how everything goes, checking the hurdles, make sure they're nice and even and level. And we're going to get ready for the first heat of 3 in the girls' 100-meter hurdles. And this is the trials.
Yep.
And a little bit windy right now. The wind is picking up slightly,
Yeah,
but the weather looks to be holding out. Some clouds, but it's nice because the sun isn't necessarily
Pretty good weather
down.
for running, yeah.
And it's just enough to kind of keep you cool. It's actually a little bit better than yesterday. We had Seacoast Championships yesterday, and it was a little bit warmer in the beginning of the meet. The wind was a little heavier at points,
Yeah, it got
too.
pretty chilly later on.
But this overall looks like a great day for a track meet. Can't ask for much better weather. And let's just hope and pray that this holds out for the rest of the meet. And it looks like we may be fixing a hurdle.
Yeah.
It looks like we're not 100% sure, but gonna check it out again. This
Looks
is
like
lanes 2 through 7. So the hurdle could be possibly in lane 8, but it looks like we're about to get ready. They're starting to shake it out, and we are about to get set. And we are off. And it looks like Belmont, Sana Said, it looks pretty strong, but it's still pretty.
She looks like out with the lead, yep.
But with Sarah Dubois right on her tail, it looks pretty close. They're coming through
they're
together.
coming through.
Oh, and it will be
Belmont.
Sana Said from Belmont who will take the win with a close second from Sarah Dubois from Maltonborough.
How was that time?
So we're going to move into the
next heat.
The second heat. We have Jenna Arsenal from Berlin. We have Lindsay Borges from Franklin, Emma Wheeler from Interlakes, Emma Ramsey from Guilford, Nathanin Konkang, Laconia, and Autumn Braley from Newfound Regional. And this will be, again, heat 2 of 3 on the girls, the women's 100-meter hurdles trials, and it will be lanes 2 through 7.
I have to leave him. Eric Smith of Kennett. Sean Green of Plymouth. Creighton Danswick Elmers of Newfound. Patrick Kelly of Interlake. Dakota Cross of Laconia. Ben Corbin of Kearsarge. Matt Libby of Newfound. And Tristan Kapongo of Portsmouth.
As we're about to start.
In the men's 110 hurdles.
Patrick Kelly.
Yep.
Are you paying attention? No.
And we are off. They're coming down. Interlake's looking really strong with Emma Wheeler, who again does everything from the field and the track. Looking really good going down the hurdles. Pretty comfortable lead. Not too much, but right around there. You have
and Guilford,
Emma Ramsey right on her heels. And solid race from Emma Wheeler with a 17.30.3. Very good race from her, and we look to see what other events she does today and wish the best for the rest of the athletes around.
Here's the final heat of the women's 100-meter hurdles, the trials. This is lanes 1 through 7. In lane 1 is Promise Veroff from Guilford. Lane 2 is Kelsey Chase from White Mountains. Lane 3, Sydney Erickson from Franklin. Lane 4, Tamia Roshan from the White Mountains. Lane 5, Hannah Chatterjee from Kingswood. Lane 6, Caitlin Percy from Belmont. And lane 7, Emma Lepre from Franklin.
And so again, lanes 1 through 7, heat 3 of 3 of the preliminary or the trials of the women's 100-meter hurdles. And they're getting set for the last heat, and we are about to begin.
They're crouched, yep.
And we are
There we
off in the
go.
final heat of the women's 100-meter hurdles, and it looks like we have, Sydney Erickson. No, actually, it is Tama Ronish with a really strong start, with a
Yep,
really
from
nice
White Mountains.
lead, about a whole set of hurdle lead coming through at a 16 high to a 16 high.
Second was Kingswood, Hannah Chattagee, and I believe third was Sydney Erickson from Franklin, but I'm not positive.
Very good race from all athletes. And so that concludes the trials of the hurdles for both men and women. We will have the finals coming up, and we actually have the 110-meter hurdle men's results with Fiston Kapongo, who blew out his heat in first, Matt Libby in second from Newfound Regional, Ben Corbin from Kearsarge, Dakota Cross from Interlakes, Danswich Helmers from Newfound Regional, and Sean Breen from Plymouth Regional, as well as Eric Smith from Kennett. What? And we're going to quickly pan over to some field events. We're going to go and we're going to look at possibly some, we're going to check over in the long jump, but we're also going to check over at the pole vault as we swing things around.
Doesn't look like anyone's at shot put.
And looks pretty tame at the pole vault right now. Possibly doing a couple trials, maybe even just going for the first couple jumps. And long jump, we have, looks like one about to enter. Cody, long jump. It looks like we have possibly Bishop Brady.
And she's going.
And she is going off. And
This is the triple jump. Yep.
And not a bad jump at all. If she looked pretty good. Wasn't quite sure where her footing was, but it looked pretty solid. And we're really going to try to bring you some more field events today in between the in the transitions. Looking at pole vault, as we have looks like Kenneth about to enter.
Ooh.
And looked a little rough as he did land on the bar, but he looks to be okay, which is a very good sign. And remember, I believe you have 3 tries per field event. So for pole vault, you have 3 tries or trials, and
To get over one.
Yeah, to get over one bar, and then you move up and you have another 3. As well as I believe in each jumping event, it's the same thing. No, for jumping you have 3 tries to get as far as you can. And then I believe that you make the finals as well.
Oh, that was
And
close.
we see another one very close that time, just barely grazed it and bring it down. And so we have the 100-meter hurdles in the women's results. You have Tama Ronish from White Mountains, Emma Wheeler from Inner Lakes, Sonia Saeed from Belmont, Sarah Dubois from Altonboro, Emma Ramsey from Guilford, Hannah Chatney from Kingswood, Sydney Erickson from Franklin, and also Lindsay Borges from Franklin as well. And we're still going to check over at pole vault, and looks like we have another couple ready to go. And so the girls' 100-meter finals will be checking in. And we are currently in the 15-minute break, and that's why we're going to be kind of scanning around for some of the field events.
Yep.
And so a little bit about the meet. This is the 46th one, I believe, the 46th year of this event. And there's a couple unique things about this meet. That other meets don't necessarily have. And one of the big things is that each school one of the things is each school takes an event. So you have different events at like a track meet usually does. You have the shot put, different events, and each school will actually take control or possession of one of the events. So they're in charge of bringing the equipment for each event, and they're in charge of running the event, which is very unique because if one team doesn't show up, they're the ones in charge of that meet, so they actually will get the blame for it not running. And if no one shows up for that event, or it just doesn't run well, they won't have the event. So it's very different than normal meet, where whoever is hosting the meet, that town or that school, will actually be in charge of everything. This allows all the schools to kind of come together and run a meet together, which is very unique. It's I believe it's the only meet in the state that kind of does that, and it's actually kind of nice to see all the schools working together, as we are competitors, but when we come together and we can work together, we can have a really fun meet like this one today. And as we said, the 100-meter finals, I believe, are checking in. And we will be back soon with that as we continue to look over at the pole vault. We're just having a few vaulters right now.
Yeah, it's pretty windy.
And
the wind's picking up. Yep.
Wind has definitely picked up. It's definitely getting a lot windier. Temperature is dropping slightly. But overall, the weather still seems to be holding out pretty well. We're going to keep our fingers crossed on that. But it looks like we have Kearsarge possibly going for their vault right now. I'm not quite sure which number it is out of the 3.
Yep.
It looks pretty solid going up.
And that cleared it by
cleared
a
it
lot.
with ease. Cleared it with ease. He had plenty. He could go up a lot more with that. Great pole vault, great form, and great follow through that whole thing.
Oh. Close.
Owen Dillon of Interlake, Sandor Gamont of Guildford, Devin Wade of Kingsford, Evan Sean Rader of White Mountain, Johan Kilbane of Kearsarge, Noah Musso of Laconia, and Cian Connor of Newfound. Those athletes need to report the triple jump now.
And we're actually going to pan over to the high jump. We're going to pan over to the high jump right now, as we have looks like possibly a Kennett athlete going for their jump. And as he gets going, very close, good form, just barely grazes the bar and he brings it down. And again, we said that each athlete has 3 trials per height. So the same thing with the pole vault. If you have 3 trials, you make the height, you move up to the next height, you have another 3. Same thing with high jump. If you make it over, I believe you get 3 more each time you go up. So I'm not quite sure which one he had, what trial he was on that one. But as we're going for another one, not as good a form as the last, but I believe he got a little bit higher up. It's just he wasn't able to arch that back as much as the last one. So he also knocked the bar down. And looking around, it's like pole vault and high jump. It's definitely takes a different type of athlete compared to some runners. I know some runners who are able to do both, but it's kind of
a little more fragile.
Yeah,
runners.
It's a little bit more fragile. It's a lot of technique in both that many don't realize. And so we actually just got the boys and girls final lineup, and when it comes time, we'll go over those. It's going to be
They'll be in a minute.
women's 100-meter hurdles. There will be lanes 1 through 8, as well as the men's should be 1 through 8 also.
Joey's in final here, Jocelyn's in final there, so I'm watching both of them. Yeah, I was came back, and then they called it out of final. No, she just threw. She wants her to throw. Joey's over the top of the other side too. So.
At this time, if we could take a moment for the national anthem being sung by Cymbal from Guilford.
Oh. We're going to take a pause for the pledge.
We took a break for the
Anthem?
national anthem. We are back, and we are going to be getting ready after that was the 15-minute break. We're going to be getting ready for the finals in the 100-meter dash as well as the hurdles. And we're still going to look over at a couple field events until we are 100% ready. We are still looking at the high jump as we have a couple more athletes going for another couple runs. And if we have time, we might pan back over to pole vault or long or triple jump and just see what's going on there. And yeah, the wind definitely has picked up. It's getting a lot more chilly right now. Temperature is definitely dropping. And this might not necessarily be bad temperature-wise for some of the distance events because you do heat up during the actual race. But the wind could play a factor, especially in the distance. The sprinting, depending on which way the wind is going, it could help them, or it could affect them a tiny bit. Not too much seconds-wise, but when you're looking at longer distance, you have those 4 to 8 laps in the 1600 to 3200, and the wind could take a couple seconds off if you don't keep your form and stay relaxed.
Yeah, the main thing is just stay relaxed in the wind.
And so we're panning over to we're looking at Discus currently, and this is the first time we've seen Discus today. And she had a pretty solid throw. Could just be a warm-up, not 100% sure if we're, I believe they're actually doing the actual event, not just warm-ups. But again, we are getting ready for the hurdles finals, as the men are lining up for the one and final race of the day. And it does feel like we're going to have a crosswind coming across the track, so it's not going against them and it's not going with them. So it may not negatively affect them, but depending on how they hit the hurdle, it could add a twist into it.
If you're a Luke Kasich fan, he'll be back for the miles. If you're a Luke Kasich fan, he'll be back for the 1 mile. I think they're taking a little bit of a break here, huh?
Yeah, we just took we just finished up. I believe we finished up a break, but it looks like some of the guys are walking back. As we go back over to Discus real quick. And this could just be a run through. She's just trying to check out her form real quick. And we do have
definitely warming up.
As we do see a lot of the men walking back. And it looks like they might be handing out the numbers for the men's 110-meter hurdles.
I'm going to swing over and watch a couple of attempts in pole vault while we're doing that.
And like we said, we're going to try to scan around the whole meet today, try to get a little bit of everything while we have time.
Careful of the cords. That's why we had it blocked off. And Kennett making an attempt, and he just too
very
close.
close.
How high you think that is, Evan?
I honestly, I cannot guess. I'm not a
Probably close to 10 feet. 10, 6. That's getting pretty up there.
He was very close on that one. He just barely tapped it.
Looks like 4 or 5 vaulters left, and that's your vaulter from Kennett.
We did see the Kearsarge athlete vaulter who cleared it with ease just a few minutes ago, and he looked really good. So he's one to watch. And it looks like we're about to get ready with the girls. The girls 100-meter hurdles.
Cody. And that was a clearance by White Mountains. And here we are with the 100-meter girls. Who do we have in the final, Evan?
In the 100-meter final, we have, again, it's one heat, and we have Sydney Erickson from Franklin in lane 1, Emma Ramsey in lane 2 from Guilford. Lane 3, we have Sana Saeed from Belmont. Lane 4, Tama Ronish from White Mountains. Lane 5, Emma Wheeler from Interlakes. In lane 6, Sarah Dubois from Moultonborough.
Fair start.
And
looked like Tama Ronish has the early lead. Belmont's Saeed is second. Interlakes Wheeler is taking over second. And your Wilderness League 2018 champion will be Tama Ronish from White Mountains. That's your Wilderness League champion right now. So White Mountains just scored 10 points right there. They were one of the contenders, too.
That was a dominant finish by
Who was second
by
there?
Ronish.
Was that Belmont that was second? Just got to report the pole vault we were just watching was at 10-6. So, yeah, Tama Ronish wins it from White Mountains, and she was flanked by Belmont and Interlake. So, 10-8-6 is what the scoring is. 10-8-6, 4-2-1 for your top 6 scores.
And as we are adjusting the hurdles for the men's 110-meter hurdles, in lane 1 we have Sean Breen from Plymouth Regional. Lane 2 we have Patrick Kelly from Interlakes. Lane 3 we have Ben Corbin from Kearsarge. Lane 4 we have Fiston Kapongo from Portsmouth Christian.
He's the favorite.
He had a very dominant performance in his trial.
He should win this going away, but we'll see. So
lane
hurdles,
5,
anything can happen, right, Evan?
Yeah, anything.
That's why we don't have you do it.
Yeah, I mean, thought about it. I mean, we had Luke Kasich here. He's a professional. And lane 5 we had Matt Libby from Newfound Regional. Lane 6 Dakota Cross from Laconia. Lane 7 Dan Zwitch Helmers from Newfound Regional. And in lane 8 we have Eric Smith from Kennett. And we talked about the crosswind a little bit. It seems like it has died down, so it shouldn't affect them much at all during this final, as we're just finishing up setting up the hurdles. And following up the hurdles, we're going to go into the dash finals. It's going to be women, then men, and then from there we're going to go into the 1,600-meter finals.
Watch Kapongo's start.
If he gets out and he has a good start, I don't know if anyone can catch him throughout the whole thing. Very good form, very consistent.
In track and field, you want to, especially on an 8-lane track, you're looking at lane 4, 5, and 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are your top 4 qualifiers by time. You still qualify by winning your heat, but the seeds are set by the times. And they come back to finals. So Kapongo had the fastest time, Libby had the second fastest time, Corbin had the third fastest time, and Cross had the fourth fastest time as they settle into their blocks. There's the gun. Kapongo's the first of the first hurdle.
Looking very solid.
He already has a lead by the fourth set. So Kapongo's first.
Very solid form, very consistent, very fluid.
Kapongo wins it. Newfound. Matt Levy came up towards the end and almost got him. But your 2018 Wilderness League champion is Fiston Kapongo from Portsmouth Christian. Second was Matt Libby from Newfound, and third was Ben Corbin from Kearsarge.
And we talked about that start. I mean, if Kapongo didn't get that good start like he needed, you saw it. Newfound came back like that, so there's a good chance that if he didn't get that good start, it could have gone, and he may not have got that win. So as we're clearing the track of the hurdles, we're going to get into the women's finals in the 100-meter.
And here's the finals for the 100 meters. In this final, we have Tama Ronish. No. Sorry about that. We have Allison Kelly from Moultonborough, Alexis Stonis from Plymouth, Gabby Isabel from Winnisquam, Tara Smoker from Plymouth, Carly Boothby from Kennett, Brianna Fraser from Guilford, and Skylar Taucus from Laconia. It looks like your top qualifier was Kelly from Moultonborough, followed by Stonis. And here we go, fair start. Hard to tell who's leading right now from our angle.
Very close. It looks like it's going to be lane 5.
It's Plymouth. That was Alexis Stonis from Plymouth. Alexis Stonis from Plymouth wins it. She's your 2018 Wilderness League champion. And we have results from the women's hurdles. Tama Ronish from White Mountains was first in 16:68. Second was Emmy Wheeler from Interlakes, 17:27. Third for Sana Saeed from Belmont, 17:53. Fourth was Sarah Dubois from Moultonborough, 18:05. Fifth was Emma Ramsey from Guilford, 18:45. And those are your top 5 scores. Evan, who do we have in this final for the men's 100?
In the men's 100-meter, we have in lane 1, we have Chris Caputo from Kennett. Lane 2, Gavin Magistro from Kearsarge. Lane 3, Hunter Dupuy from Belmont. Lane 4, Tucker Goslin from Kingswood. Lane 5, Eli Dupigny from Interlakes. Lane 6, Nas Berlin. And
My money's on Nas because of his name.
Lane 7, Jack Fogarty from Moultonborough, who had a very good trial. Lane 8, we have Michael Merrill from Interlakes as well. We're about to start.
Tucker Goslin had your top time. They're in the blocks.
In 6th place, Quentin Danswiz Palmers from Newfound. In 5th place, William Walker of Kearsarge.
Fair start. Looked like Belmont's Dupuy got a great start as far as his reaction time. Let's see how this develops. And it's Dupuy
Who's gonna
coming
pull
through.
away?
Dupuy and then Kingswoods and Tucker Goslin second, but Hunter Dupuy from Belmont is your 2018 Wilderness League champion in the 100, and that's a big 10 points for Belmont. Second was Kingswood, Tucker Goslin.
Another solid 8 points right there.
So
Kingswood's looking to make up some points from that 4x8, as Messina did kind of take that from them. So trying to get the points when they can.
We have some results from the men's 110-meter hurdles as they're going to get the 1600 going here. First place was Fiston Kapongo, 16:53. Second place was Newfound's Matt Libby. Third place, Ben Corbin from Kearsarge. Fourth place, Dakota Cross from Laconia. Fifth place, William Walker from Kearsarge. Those are your top 5. And your 6th place scorer was Quentin Helmers from Newfound in 1938. Team scores. Just after a few events, Kearsarge is the early lead on the men's side, 12 points. Messinic, 10 points. Portsmouth Christian also 10 points. That was Campongo. Newfound 9 points, and Kingswood 8 points. On the women's side, you have a 3-way tie for first, which is pretty common at the beginning. White Mountains, Portsmouth, and Belmont with 10 points.
So as we're going to get ready for the women's 1600 meter, we're going to line it up. And
2 heats.
It looks like it's going to be a waterfall start, which
One heat.
For those who do not know a waterfall start, they have to, depending on how many athletes there are, they're going to move a couple of them up a little bit on a curve, and they're not going to be able to cut into the first 3 lanes until.
Hey, I got to interrupt you. This is going to be a great race. You got Liza Corzo from Portsmouth Christian and Maya Doobie from Kearsarge. They have both run close to 5:10, between 5:10 and 5:15 this year.
It's going to be
It's
a
going
big
to be
battle.
a phenomenal battle. But you also have Alice Riley, who's is a state champion of her own right in the 3200. Delia Cormier from Laconia. Riley Stewart from Kennett. Maya Wild Cooley from Interlakes. Lily Bear from Kearsarge. Winnisquam's Faith Goslin. Ainsley Towers from Plymouth. Quinn Aldrich from Messinic. Leah Telemark from Kennett. Amanda Esters from Portsmouth Christian. Jasmine Piper. From Winnisquam. Grace Treitz from Kingswood. Marlise Bear from Kearsarge. Madison Ralph from Guilford. Carolyn Day from Kingswood. Libby Vandemore from Plymouth. Naya Adamkowski from Woodsville. Sarah Kaczynski from Portsmouth Christian, and Sophie Callahan from Messina.
And as we talked about the first 3, looking pretty solid going around that back straightaway. We have a pack of about 5, and then there's one on the very end kind of hanging in there. Looking pretty solid, like we talked about. Portsmouth Christian in first, with a nice little pack following behind her.
So this is Maya Doobie's first race. Corzo already ran the 4x8, but she's a fearless runner. She's going to run her own race, and they're coming through pretty fast, Evan. We're looking at 74, 75, 76. That's 5:04 pace. Doobie looks very comfortable, as does Alice Riley.
It's coming around. It's kind of spreading out a little bit. You still have about 5 in the front pack. You have a 6 kind of hanging off the back, and then from there on, it's really kind of spreading out towards the back when you have a little bit more of a pack again.
So that first pack of 5, like we said, Corso, then Doobie, who looks tremendous right on her shoulder, Riley, then Delia Cormier from Laconia, and it looks like Lily Bear from Kearsarge is hanging on to the end there. She's a freshman. Just talked to Coach Ernie Brake. He's very high on her in her future. Just kind of, as he describes it, just trying to figure this whole track thing out. But she, by the looks of her stride, she's a very natural runner, and she's sitting right on that. Two very good runners.
And it looks like Riley Stewart could be off that pack a little bit off, so she might drop back to the rest of the pack behind her. But we'll see if she can make up anything right now, get with that pack and kind of hang in there. And it even looks like the first 2 we're looking at, Corso and Doobie, look like they're going to try to pull away from those the other 3 and kind of see. We're about to see the battle that we were talking about.
So going through this third lap is going to be pretty pivotal. They're on about 5:12 pace.
2:36.
2:39 for the backpack, and they're about 5:18.
Stewart comes in
5:18,
at around
5:20.
2:44.
And this is Faith Goslin coming across but following the leaders right now. Let's see if Doobie considers making a move here. Sometimes the backstretch of that third lap, if someone's feeling good, they're doing it, but they're humming pretty good right now.
And Doobie's just hanging right on there. She's looking really good right now.
She looks like she's about to pounce, but I'm telling you, Corso will not go down without a fight.
4x100 meter relay team should be checking in at this time. 4x100 meter.
And they're hanging in there. It looks like Doobie's trying to
Doobie's
get right
coming up on her shoulder. Let's see if she holds her off.
We're going to see if she might make a move on this straightaway going to the last lap. She can hold her to the corner. She can get to the corner. That could be big for her in the long stretches. Corzo already ran the 4x8, which could do something to her fitness towards the end
She's
of the race.
strong. I don't think she really realizes what doubling can do, and that's a good thing right now. So see if Doobie swings out. If Doobie swings out on this camera angle, you'll know she's trying to make a move. If not, Corso's really going to make her work. Corso has great positioning in the lane, actually. She's right in the middle to the outside of the lane. So if Doobie wants to make a pass,
She has to go wide.
she has to go wide. They're through 1,200 and 3:58.
They're cruising.
That's a 5:16, 5:17 pace.
They are cruising right
This
now.
this second pack's not too shabby. Riley leading it through in 4:07, and that's a 5:28 to 5:30 pace. So
And we have Stewart coming in at 4:14, 4:13.
here we go. We got to pay attention to this race up front. And
This is gonna
Doobie
be
trying
crazy.
to make the move.
Doobie is going
She
to go for
completes
it.
the pass. Does Corso have a response?
And Corso looks like she's going to get right on her shoulder and hang
She's
in there.
staying nice and tight. That is so smart on
I think
Corso's.
she expected that move, and I think she's ready to go for it right now.
Very smart. Just let her make the pass. Go to her shoulder. Ride that leader a little bit. Going around the turn. Let's see if Corso has a response.
She's got to stay
coming
right
down
on her
the
shoulder,
straightaway.
though. It looks like Doobie's trying to gap her a little bit. Corso's got to stay
Doobie
right on her
looks
shoulder.
tremendously strong right now. They're going to be coming into a bit of a headwind on the straightaway.
And here comes Corso. She's really starting to open up that stride. You can see her arms swinging a little bit more.
Just wait a little bit. Just wait a little bit, then swing out. Use the wind.
And here we go.
Corso's
here we go.
wide.
It's coming up. It's coming up. They're coming down the straightaway.
Both
It could be a
are-
case of the finish.
Both are full
Here
stride.
comes Corso
Both
with-
are sending it.
Opening it up. Opening it up. Doobie's
Both
trying to
are
hold her off.
sending it. Doobie's going to win
And
it.
Doobie's going to hold her off at the end.
What a race. 5:08, 5:09, 5:10, 5:11.
5:11.
Both 5:11 it looks like.
Incredible.
Tremendous race by both athletes. And then we have a fight for third. We got Alice Riley and Lily Bear fighting. It's going to be Lily Bear coming through.
And Laconia with a final surge. It's going to be
5:28, 5:29, 5:30. So it's Bear to Riley to Cormier, and sixth place rounding out the
Stewart.
scoring will be Stewart from Kennett, followed by
Winnisquam.
Faith Gosselin from Winnisquam. Then Interlakes,
Maya Willie Cooley, and then we're going to have Woodsville. Overall, great race. I mean, you got to give it to Doobie for making the move, and you got to also give it to Corso for doing the 4x8 and 16 back.
100%. That was a great
Great
race.
race.
That's
That
what
was
we
a
wanted to
great
see,
race.
right?
That was one of the races of the day, in my opinion.
Okay, real quick, 100-meter finals results. Hunter Dupuis won it, 11:55. Tucker Gosselin second, 11:73. Eli Dupigny was third from Interlakes, 11:91. Chris Caputa was fourth. Kennett, 11:93. Those were your top four. Women's 100 was Alex Stonis, Plymouth, 13:12. Second was Gabby Isabel from Winnisquam, 13:39. Third was Tara Smoker from Plymouth, 13:42. Fourth was Allison Kelly from Moultonborough, 13:50. Rounding out the top five was Brianna Frazier from Guilford. And here we are with the mile. I'm going to turn it over to Luke Kasich. He's going to introduce the milers for you.
And it looks, I believe, is it 2 heats for
Hello.
this? It is 2 heats, so this is going to be the first of 2 heats for the men's mile.
All right. In lane, the first position is Aiden Kellogg from Kearsarge. Second, Tom Lick from Kearsarge. Third is Joseph Young from Berlin. Fourth is Dan Ingleson from Laconia. Fifth is Matt Corso from Portsmouth Christian. Sixth is David Brackett from Portsmouth Christian. Then Robert McLean from Messinic. Snowden O'Neill from Kennett.
And we're
Here
off
we go.
with the first heat of the men's mile. And like we were talking about the waterfall start, anyone in the outside 3 lanes for the waterfall is going to have to go around about 100 meters, and then they're going to be able to cut in with the rest of the pack, just so it kind of evens it out, because they do have a little bit of a head start. But since they're forced to the outer 3 lanes, they're going to have to run a little bit more before they can cut in. So as they're going out, it looks like the pack isn't spreading out too much. We have
It looks like Aiden Kellogg from Kearsarge is
so trying to kind of pulling out ahead, but it looks like we're going to have
it's matched.
Dan Ingleson possibly from Laconia trying to match him. And it hasn't spread out too much. It's still pretty conservative, pretty open. Matt Corso right on the backpack of those two, and looking relaxed, just kind of staying there. He's trying to follow up in his sibling's footsteps. We're going to see if he can do something here. And as they're coming down the straightaway, looking pretty good form, pretty relaxed. Not going to be any crazy out of this world time as you might see in some miles. It's going to be a pretty conservative time. So they come through in about a 72.
72, 73, which is at about a 2:26, which is a 4:52 pace. So probably on the conservative. So we'll probably see them pick up the pace a little.
If they pick, they're still a sub-5 pace, which is what they should be aiming for. But I do believe that they're going to ramp it up, going out a little bit too conservative.
Yeah.
And I mean, you and I have both run quite a few miles, and there's really two ways of running a mile. You go out really hard and you try to keep it.
Yeah, that's my preference to the run mile.
Or you
I
go
like to
conservative
out
and you really
hard,
build it up. I mean, I know some people like to be conservative and then really ramp it up, drop a couple seconds each lap, and hammer that last lap. So we'll see what happens in this one. It looks like they went out conservative, and we're going to see if they want to drop time or if we're just going to kind of hold out this whole race.
It looks as if Aiden Kellogg has kept the lead, maintained, and who has come with him? It looks like Robert McLean or Snowden O'Neill from Kennett has come. They're kind of breaking away from that pack, forming their own little one.
And we're going to be able to really tell who's in that front pack. Actually, looks like it could be.
They may have slowed it down a little.
Yep, and it looks like it's Snowden O'Neill in first with Dan Ingleson. Dan Ingleson is in the lead, or is in second place.
So they're at about 5 flat pace. So I'm not sure if they might pick it up here.
So our first two is Snowden O'Neill and Dan Ingleson. As they're going around, I don't believe that they're going to try to drop too much time the next couple laps.
No.
But we're going to see. I mean, I don't believe the wind is affecting anyone too much. It's not that fast. It's not that fast right now. It's not too heavy. And again, this is the first heat of 2 in the men's mile. And we want to give a quick shout out to our cameraman,
Cody Tangway
doing a great job with the camera. It's his first time doing it, and we are proud of him for improving as the meet goes on. So we're coming around. Looks like Snowden O'Neill is going to keep that first place. It's got a little bit of a gap. He looks pretty good. We're going to see what Dan Ingleson can do. He's going to get up on his shoulder.
Yep.
This is what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to drop a nice little surge, get up on his shoulder, and work with him. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. As they're going to go in.
Come across the line at about a 3:49, which is on pace for about a 5:04.
And looks like Ingleson's going to try to make a move on the corner. That is an ambitious move on the corner, especially. And
there's still 300 meters to go.
That could come back to bite him if Snowden has something left in the tank. We will see, as both of them, you can tell, are starting to get tired as their form. They start to go to T-Rex mode, is like I call it. Their arms kind of come up a little bit higher towards their chest. And we're going to see if Ingleson will be able to hold off Snowden, or Snowden has a little surprise for him at the final straightaway. As they're hanging right in there. In third place, you got, looks like Messinic and possibly Berlin, not 100% sure.
And here that's a big move.
And there's some gas in the tank left, as you can see. Snowden is picking it up, and he is going to try to win this thing right now. Let's see what Ingleson has. Ingleson is looking tired. His head is bobbing a little bit, but Snowden looks good.
He's going to try to break 5. They're at 4:47. He's going to get in.
And he's going to go. He's going for it right now.
He's looking really good.
Other Ingleson is trying to hold off.
Ingleson is coming in, yeah.
You can tell he is tired, but Snowden ran this race smart, and he has something left in the tank. Comes through at
a 5
flat.
flat on the dot.
Very close. Good race by both men, and good race by all. Snowden did have something left in the tank, and he did use his strategy really well in that one.
And it looks like we're going to close it in. And for the second heat of the boys 1,600 meter, Evan, you can.
So for the second heat and the final heat of the men's final in the 1,600 meter, we have Ian Daly from Interlakes, Landon Valancourt from Messinic Regional, Zach Innes from Belmont, Sam Call from White Mountains, Logan Thibault from Messinic Regional, DJ Turner from Messinic Regional, Richard Fournier from Winnisquam, Chris Damaris from Kennett, Dylan Robert from Winnisquam, Noah Cornish from Berlin, Brent Coop, Kingswood, Ryan Mason, Molten Borough. And then we have Charles Arinal from Kingswood, Ben Bolton, Kearsarge, and Oscar Miller from Bishop Brady. we're going to back up. Don't want any movement on the line. And we are off in the men's 1,600-meter final as Ian Daly does make his way to the very front, and he's the one that I would put my money on. Very strong runner, and he can really compete with a lot of D1s and D2s in the state. So we're going to see what he can do. Looks like Zach Enos from Belmont trying to go with him. And it looks like the rest of them are kind of taking a conservative approach, not too much out front, but Ian's just trying to take it straight to him, and we're going to see if he can hold that out. I believe he can, and I believe it's going to be a pretty fast time overall today.
Yep.
They're coming around the final straightaway. They come through the 300-meter mark around a 47.
Yep. They're going to be around pretty quick on this first lap.
And anyone can run, like I said, anyone can run that first lap.
Yep, you got to maintain.
Pretty fast, but it's just how you finish up. So Belmont in set. So you have Zach Enos following Ian Daly.
64, 65.
64, 65. That's a pretty fast pace for the first lap. Let's see what they can do on the second lap, and it is spreading out. We're going to see if Zach Enos can keep up with Daly, and this could come down to a battle, just like we saw on the women's mile. Coming around, we have a nice pack behind them, and it looks like we're going to have Landon Valancourt, Sam in the second pack. Looks like we have at least one Messinic, and then possibly a couple, maybe a Sam Call from White Mountains. And
yeah, this race is spread out pretty.
It's spread up, but you still have an opportunity. There's about 3 guys that could finish in third.
Yeah.
One of them could actually make a move, depending on how they run this race, to catch up with Daly and Sam, or Zach Enos, I apologize. And again, looking pretty good. Coming down the straightaway, form looks pretty good. Got to get those arms down a tiny bit, but pretty conservative and pretty strong overall.
Coming through at the 800-meter mark at about a 2:15, 2:16, which is for the mile. That's about a 4:32 pace. So that's pretty good for.
And with the wind, I mean, the wind's probably not taking too much away, but it definitely does play into the fatigue of a race. As if you try to battle the wind, it actually will take more out of it if you relax. If you relax and you're not able to stay calm, you do run a little bit faster in the wind. And Daly's still looking pretty good.
It looks like they're picking up, yep.
Daly's looking pretty good, but at the same time, I almost think that Zach Enos looks even a little bit stronger. He looks pretty conservative. He's letting Daly do all the work.
Yeah, Zach Enos is letting it, yep.
But it looks like Daly's trying to open up a little bit. Let's see if Enos can stay on him, coming around to the back straight into the final straightaway. And this is the third lap. And this is where Daly's going to try to pick it up and drop.
Yeah, it looks like he's he's put up the pace a little higher.
We were talking about how Enos looks good. He looks good, but I don't know if he's going to pick up the pace is the thing.
He looks like he's crouching over a little bit. But Ian Daly is staying tall.
And this is where Daly's going to really try to rip it. He's looking great right now. He's coming through the 1,200-meter mark at a 3:25, 3:24, 3:25.
So that's still on that 4:32 pace. So he'll probably drop the pace on this one. I'm guessing they're probably going to get about a 4:30-ish.
I would say around a 4:30 to 4:35. I mean, it really could go anywhere from there.
Yep.
He's really pushing right now, and he looks great. He looks strong.
He really looks like he's going to take this unless something major happens.
Zach Enos looks great, too. I mean, he kind of got dropped, but then you have one of those guys we were talking about in the pack right behind him. If they were able to make a move, he might be able to catch someone. I don't believe the third place would be able to catch the second place at this point, but he looks pretty safe in that third position. As we're coming around, Daly is ripping. He has about maybe a 20 or so meter lead on second, and he is coming down, really pushing for that 4:30 mark.
Yep, he's probably gonna get it. 4:20 right now. He's gonna get in, and this is a 4:27, 4:28, 4:28. Yep. Here comes Belmont.
At about a 4:33.
Zach Enos, yep.
White Mountains, you have Sam Call, and he was one of those packs that came through.
And in 4:45 is Landon Valancourt from Messinic Regional. And here comes the rest of the heat. Good finish from Kingswood, but not able to get the next runner
Not
from
enough, but very close.
Winsco- Yep.
Again, great race. So you had Zach Enos really kind of kept with Daly until that,
Yep,
that last
lap, really.
about 500, 600 meters to go.
Yep.
Daly kind of ramped it up, and you almost kind of expected that from him. But great race overall. Great race to everyone in both
Yep.
women's and men's. And now we're going to get ready for the 4x100 meter relays. And there's going to be 3 heats of the girls.
Yep.
And it looks like we're going to jump into Heat 1. We have Woodsville in lane 2. Lane 3, we have Kearsarge. Lane 4, we have Berlin. And I do not believe that we have Berlin.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, Berlin did not sign in. Look.
Berlin is not here, and it looks like we have Messinic Regional. So for the starting blocks, we're gonna have in the start for each team, we're gonna have Sleeper from Woodsville, Bud from Kearsarge, and Samaro from Messinic Regional. That's gonna be in lanes 2, 3, and 5. And this is Heat 1 of 3.
In third place, Justin Perrin of Prospect Mountain. In second place, Joey Thurdor of Berlin. And in first place, with a throw of 40 feet 7 inches from Newfound Regional, Ethan Brewer. All 400-meter runners should be checked in at this time. All 400-meter runners.
The wind has continued to pick up. It's getting pretty windy right now.
As we're going to get set for the first heat of the women's 4x1. And we are off as we are in lanes 2, 3, and 5. It looks like they might have kicked them out, but about 100% sure. It could have been 2, 3, and 4 now. As they're going around 4x1. And it's looking pretty close. It looks like we're going to have Kearsarge taking off in the second leg, going straight down the straightaway, passing Woodsville and handing off. Pretty decent handoff. Didn't lose too much speed on that going around the back corner. And Woodsville is trying to gain back some speed right here. They're coming back.
Yep.
They're not too far behind, but I'm not quite sure they'll be able to catch Kearsarge. As Kearsarge is going into the last, fourth, and final handoff down the straightaway, looking good. Good form.
Gonna be a
Chin
pretty
down.
good time.
And
Try to get under 60 seconds.
it's going to be close. It is doable. We will see if they will break that, and they will come through at a 56. 57 for Woodsville, and then we are going to see
Messinic is coming through.
Messinic is coming down.
Finishing
effort by
looking
all
pretty
teams.
good.
And they're
And
going
that
to
is a
finish.
73.
That was Heat 1 of 3. We're going to jump into Heat 2. Heat 2, we have Laconia in lane 1. Lane 2, we have Kennett. Lane 3, we have Maltonborough. Lane 4, we have Belmont. Lane 5, we have Newfound Regional. And in lane 6, we have Prospect Mountain. And this start, we're going to have Colin Kang from Laconia, Boothby from Kennett, Kelly from Maltonborough, Dave from Belmont, Seymour from Newfound Regional, and Dalrympe from Prospect Mountain. And I apologize for the name fumble, but looking for a good race. Lanes 1 through 6, and this should be good.
All right.
Results of the men's high jump in 6th place, Finn Baldwin of Guilford. In 5th place, Bryce Hall of Belmont.
We're going to get ready for the second heat.
From Plymouth, Charlie Carpenter from Plymouth Regional. In 3rd place, Ben Corbin of Kearsarge. In 2nd place, Reed Wilkins of Newfound. And the winner of the boys' high jump with a height of 6 foot 2 inches from White Mountains, Jack Parker.
We're going Gonna get ready for this second heat of the girls 4x1, and we are. We're just getting ready, just getting settled. No movement on the line is the biggest thing. And we're off. As we are going to try to scan around. Looking pretty even going around. Looks pretty consistent. As you looks like Maltonborough in first, but it's looking pretty even for the second and third spots. Handoffs are pretty good, and these looks pretty good coming around the backstretch. Maltonborough still has the lead, but second place is really anyone's race right now. As they're coming through Maltonborough with a handoff, they're off.
Pretty close.
And it's coming down. It looks like Kennett is coming up on Maltonborough, but Maltonborough still looks good. Coming through, they're looking to break that 60 mark again.
They're going to get it by quite a bit.
And they're going to kill Maltonborough.
At a 55 again for Maltonborough.
And it looks like Laconia could have gotten second in that one.
It's really close, hard to tell.
Very close.
All right. This is the third heat of the girls 4x100 meter relay. In lane 1 is Portsmouth Christian, lane 2 is Kingswood, lane 3 is Guilford, lane 4 is Plymouth Regional, lane 5 is Interlakes, but they are not here, so lane 6 will be White Mountains, and that'll finish it off.
And so we're about to get ready. They're just kind of shaking it out,
getting ready.
getting in place. And
the starter has the gun up.
they're getting ready, going to get down. And sprinters always like to take a little bit more time when they get into the blocks.
Yeah.
They want to make sure everything's right, everything feels perfect.
Every second matters.
Every second, even every every millisecond really
yep.
matters in these races, especially the 4x1 where it's the handoffs.
You have to rely on your team.
The handoffs are key. And we are off. Looks like everyone had a pretty decent start. We're going to see how carries around. Looks like White Mountain's still doing pretty well. Still that lead. Good handoff, but it looks like Interlakes possibly. It's coming down. Could be Guilford, actually. I stand corrected. It could be Guilford. Looking really good. And they're taking off, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to catch them depending on how his handoff goes. As long as they get this handoff, it looks pretty solid for Guilford.
The handoffs are really the main portion. Like, everyone's around the same time for the running, but
Plymouth gets it in second, looking great.
They've got a good lead.
So it looks like it's going to come down to Guilford in first.
Which they are going
Plymouth
to
in
get
second.
About a 51,
White Mountains
52.
third, Kingswood fourth, and Portsmouth Christian in fifth.
Sorry, I was told to come here to find the 400 my heat for Emily Barker.
Heat 1.
Thank you.
And so that concludes the women's 4x100 meter relay, and it looks like in the whole span of things, it looks like Guilford did win it, and they are your 2018 4x100 meter relay champions. So we're going to jump into the men's 4x100 meter relay, heat 1 of 2, so there will be 2 heats, and it looks like Interlakes has not shown up, so it will be White Mountains in 3 in the third lane, Laconia 4, and in the fifth lane we're going to have Kennett. Led off in White Mountains, led off by Sean Labor, Laconia led off by Moore, and Kennett led off by Hill. Gonna get ready to go down.
Yep.
And they are off in the first heat of 2 in the men's.
Yep.
They're looking pretty good, pretty strong.
Going pretty quick. Yep.
Ken is looking good in the back straightaway. We're going to see how the handoff is.
The handoff. It's
And remember,
a little bit tough to see with the
Ken is still
tents.
doing well, but oh goodness,
Oh, man.
dude, White Mountains is coming out of nowhere. Looks like they're
They
really
just
cooking.
Took that, yeah. Look like they're gonna slow down, have a pretty good, solid handoff. No look, that was good.
White Mountains is really killing it right
Yep,
now. Ken in
They
second,
just opened the lead.
and Laconia is going to be in third. And
So-
anchoring for White Mountains is going to be,
Oh, that was
Boulier.
a hard.
and this is going to come down.
That handoff might have messed him up a little, but that.
But it doesn't look
just
like it's
might
gonna
affect
change
their time
much.
by 1 second.
Laconia, oh, and Kenneth going to come back,
47
but
seconds,
Laconia
yep.
holds Kenneth off for the second spot, and Kenneth will come in third. But they were able to make some ground back. But Laconia coming back, getting second, that was quite impressive. They didn't look too great in the beginning of that, but they came back and they were able to grab that second spot, which is, they're going to need the points in the overall look at things. So going into the second heat.
Time to beat is 47 seconds, and in lane 1 is Plymouth Regional, in lane 2 is Kearsarge, lane 3 is Belmont, and lane 4 is Newfound Regional, and neither Berlin or Kingswood have shown up. So they're both scratching, so there's only four teams in this event. We do have results of the 1600 for women's and men's, so we can tell you that after.
Yeah, we'll tell you this after we conclude the last heat of the men's 4x1.
Yep, because after the 4x1 is the 400 meter. So.
And this meet is moving right along. It's one
Yep.
of the faster meets of the
Quick
year.
meet.
It's kind of nice. You get some of those meets that do draw out for a long time, and the thing is, as runners, as you know,
And
is we get that you kind of build up that anxiety and that kind of stress, and it's the athletes that can really control that do really well. But no, it's nice to have a meet that kind of keeps things moving, and we're gonna head into the last heat of the 4x1 for the men's. And everyone's getting settled. Stop all movement, and we are off. It looks like a pretty solid start for everyone. Kingswood looking good in the outer lane.
Yep.
But we're really going to start. I mean, it looks like anyone in the outside lanes were really good in the beginning because they had that kind of a head start, but the inner lanes are the ones that really start popping. Just coming down.
they're going quick.
Everyone's really ripping right now. It looks like Belmont's really going. Everyone, oh,
Man.
and a fall.
But that was when he was handing
That
it
was
off.
handing off, so everything's still okay. It looks like Belmont's
was-
coming around the corner. Belmont looks to be in first. Hand off her everything right now.
Great
Newfound
after.
in third. It looks like Plymouth in second, and Kingswood in fourth is coming down. Belmont will take the win
There they go
with
with a
Kingswood in second, Plymouth in
45.
third, Newfound fourth, and Kearsarge in fifth. Great race for the second and third spots. Very close. We did have a fall around the
Yeah.
second handoff,
I think it was.
or the third
Plymouth.
handoff, but
Yep.
hope everything's okay. But it was, he got the baton off and it didn't affect the runner, or anyone else,
Yep,
which is
he-
key.
Yep.
Got to stay in your lane. And
Probably
you
just
can't affect
caught
anyone
up
else.
on his own feet.
And I mean, sometimes it's gonna happen if you're going for it all and you're trying to give everything
Yep.
you have. You might take a tumble.
Maybe his spikes might dig in. I don't know. I think when I was walking on this track, it seemed pretty hard.
The check-in's actually over on the other side.
For the 400? Oh, wait, you want to know what lane you're in?
Do you know your spot? Are you saying?
No, yeah, I need to know that.
Wait, what's your name?
Samantha and Ann.
Oh, you're in Heat 1. You haven't signed in yet.
I know, that's what I have to do.
Okay. Okay. So we'll just have you in. So you're Samantha A, and you're in Heat 1 of 3, and you're in lane 3, right?
Yeah, I might have to do that.
Need the coaches from Inner Lakes and Kearsarge to report to the time zone. Inner Lakes and Kearsarge.
What's this? Oh.
All that. Okay, so
All right.
real quick, we finished up with the 4x1s. We're gonna give the results of the women's and men's, or the women's results in the 1600 meter. And first, again, Maya Doobie. We had in Kearsarge with a time of 5:11.27. And Lisa Corso with Portsmouth Christian, 5:11.99, so barely breaking
fast.
5:12.
Call this D3. That's fast.
And that is fast. In the third, we have Lily Bear from Kearsarge at 5:29. And in fourth, we have Alice Riley and with a 5:30. And then again, Delia Cormier in top 5 is running her top in the 5:30. And we're going to jump into
The 400
the next
meter
race.
for the girls in Heat 1 is Samantha Anayan and Emily Barker. Those are the only two in this race.
This is Heat 1 of 3.
Yep.
And just a quick update on the scores in top 3. So for the top 3 teams right now, it's Kingswood in first with 16 points, Kearsarge in second with 12 points, and in a tie for second actually with Kearsarge and Belmont at 12 points. For women's, the top 3 teams are Plymouth Regional with 26 points, Portsmouth Christian with 18 points, and Kearsarge with 16 points. So still, the battle for second is still there. Plymouth Regional seems to be pulling away.
Yep.
But we'll see how that continues. And for men, it's really open. I mean, Kingswood has a slight advantage, but anything could happen in the next couple of races.
Oh, we do have results from the women's 4x1 meter relay and the men's 1600 meter.
As we're coming down the straightaway, it looks like we have. Looks like Plymouth will take the win.
Take the win, yep.
With Moultonborough getting
Moultonborough
second.
In Heat 2 of the women's 400 meters, there is in lane 1 is Caitlin Murray, lane 2 is Elizabeth Barker, lane 3 Elise Nanada, lane 4 Emma Lepre, and she is not in this. Lane 5 Sydney Lahair, and lane 6 is Alexis Day from Belmont.
It's New Hampshire Track and Field.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Just volunteers. So we're going to get ready for the second of 3 heats in the women's 400 meter. And it looks like we're going to have 5 out of the 6 athletes, as looks like a Franklin athlete did not show up or did not check in. So we going to be 5 athletes instead of 6.
Yep.
We're getting ready. And we're off in the second heat. And just look for the pace to kind of pick up in each one of these. We are going from the pace should increase in each of these as the
As the
heats go on.
Yep.
And so a quick update on the men's 16. We had Ian Daly in first with a 4:28. Zach Enos, who was able to stay with Ian for about 3 laps, he was 4:35. Still a very respectable time. Sam Call 4:41 right there. And Landon Valancourt with a 4:45, and rounding at the top 5, we have Chris Damaris from Kennett in a 4:47. And the team scores have kind of shaken up. Belmont is in first with 20 points. Interlakes is in second with 18 points, and Kingswood is in third with 16 points. So, like I said, that can just kind of change up in a matter of events. And with women's scores, Plymouth Regional 26. Guilford is gaining on Plymouth with 20 points, and in third, White Mountains with 18. Coming down, looks like Portsmouth Christian with the win.
Christian's going to take it.
Plymouth in second and Guilford in third.
Belmont in 4th and Kingswood in 5th to close it off.
In 6th, we're going to have Franklin.
Oh. And for the final heat of the girls 400 meter, it is in lane 1, Sarah Huckman from Kingswood. Lane 2, Delaney Kagendel from Portsmouth Christian. Lane 3, Lauren Dean from Guilford. Lane 4, Natalie Frazier, also from Guilford. Lane 5, Avril Prack from Kearsarge. She's not in this, she's scratched. Lane 6 is Ainsley Towers from Plymouth Regional.
And as they're getting set for the final heat,
Yep.
we
This would be the fastest one for the girls.
will update you on the men's and women's 4x100 meter relay in just a second once this goes off. And we also have an update on women's javelin. We have the results, and we'll get you those. And they are off with the third and final heat of the girls 400 meter. With a quick update on women's javelin, we had Samantha Meyer from Plymouth Regional with 110 feet 8 inches for the win. With second, you have Jasmine Peterson from Newfound Regional with 109 feet exact. Ashley Duckett from Newfound Regional also with 100 exact. Jocelyn Latang from Berlin, 98 feet 4 inches. And in rounding out the top 5, we have Sarah Shannon from Maltonborough with a 97 feet 8 inches. Now going to the women's 4x100 meter relay. The final, we had Guilford in first with a time of 52.53. White Mountains in second with a time of 55.35. Third, we have Maltonborough with a 55.41. Laconia 55.91, and in fifth, Belmont with a 56.01. And coming down the straightaway, Guilford is going to take the win, with Guilford also getting second. Kearsarge in third, Kingswood in fourth, and Portsmouth Christian fifth, as well as Plymouth in sixth. Great job, ladies. Now looking at the men's 4x100 meter relay, we got Belmont in first with a time of 45.79, Kingswood in second with a time of 46.7, Plymouth Regional with a time of 46.87, Newfound Regional with a time of 47.07, and rounding out the top 5, you have Kearsarge with a 47.37. And Belmont has kind of extended a lead as Kingswood actually takes over in second, so Belmont with 30 points. And we're starting the men's 400 meter. And we're off. Belmont has about 30 points right now. Kingswood is second with 24, and Interlakes with 18. And Plymouth Regional still has the girls' lead with 26 points, 6 points over Guilford. The men's 400, this is the first heat of 5. You have Riley Tinkham from Kennett and Jesse Cleat from Interlakes. Coming around the back straightaway. Looks like you have Interlakes. This is Jesse Cleat with Riley Tinkham from Kennett coming down the straightaway. Looking pretty good.
Probably going to get a pretty good time.
Gonna try to go sub 60 if everything goes well here. They definitely should get sub 60 if everything. Just kind of reel it in right now.
57, yep,
About
58. And the next one is
60.
one flat, 60 seconds. And the next heat for the boys 400 meter.
The next heat.
Next heat for the boys 400 meter is Eric Adams from Maltonborough. Lane 2, Evan Griffin from Winnisquam. Lane 4, Owen Ramsey from Guilford. Lane 5 is Trevor Garton from Portsmouth Christian.
So this is heat 2 of 5. As we are still reeling, we're going pretty good pace for this meet. We should be done at a reasonable time, which is always nice. And we are off for the second heat of the boys 400 meters. And it looks like we have a pretty good start by, I believe, Maltonborough. Looking pretty good in the beginning. Waiting to kind of see how it comes around. I believe that's Maltonborough.
Yeah, they're pulling away. But that chase pack is closing in on them. It's easier to be in a pack, yep.
And remember, this is a 400 meters, so you have to stay in your lane the whole time, so you can't run with anyone. You got to stay in your lane.
That's kind of a hard thing, especially when you're in about lane 6. It might seem easier because you're starting out front, but it's definitely not.
And it looks like it's going to be Portsmouth Christian, or no, it looks like Maltonborough. Eric Adams is pulling away right now, coming
Yep.
down a straightaway.
He's going to finish in
Then we got
about a
Winnisquam.
58.
Deerfield will pull it off. Guilford will get second with Winnisquam in third.
Ooh, bit of a fall at the end there, but that was just after he finished.
So
Giving it all he has.
Eric Adams with the win on that. And we're going to go into the third heat of 5. So in this one we have Dan Ingleson from Laconia in lane 1. Lane 2 we have Frank Heckler from Laconia. We have in lane 3 Hunter McLeod from White Mountains. Lane 4 we have Alexander Bassett from Maltonborough. In lane 5 we have Zoran Powell from Winnisquam. And in lane 6 we have Thomas Bastis from Laconia. Still a little bit windy. Still a great day though. Getting a little bit of sun here and there.
Oh, yeah.
And
And
we're
they're
off
off.
with the third heat.
Should be a pretty quick time. Oh,
Okay, heat 2, lane 1. I thought that said heat 1. Okay, heat 2, lane 1. Thank you.
And they're actually staying really close together around this. Looking pretty good. Coming around the back straightaway.
there.
And it looks like we have White Mountains, Hunter McLeod in
Quite a
first.
few of them are bobbing their heads quite a bit. I think that's the wind kicking
looking
in.
pretty tired. I mean, they are coming in. They're going to definitely break 60 or 1 minute. White Mountains. And Laconia's actually going to edge out possibly White Mountains with second. As we're going to hop into the fourth of 5 heats. And
For the fourth heat of the boys 400 meter, it is Samuel Tuck in lane 1 from Franklin, Logan Hilger in lane 2 from Plymouth Regional, lane 3 is Jim Huckman from Kingwood, and lane 4 is She Theron from Guilford, lane 6 is George Cheney from Portsmouth Christian. In lane 5 was Thomas Carpenter from Portsmouth Regional, or Plymouth Regional, but he did not show up.
and we are off with the fourth out of 5 heats. And it's looking pretty good.
Yep.
Coming around.
This should be a pretty quick time, looking around like
And
55.
looking at it, it looks like Jim Huckman has
Yep,
actually been in a
he's-
couple events. He's been out,
yeah.
I want to say this is his 3rd event of the day. I wonder how much more he has in him. He's doing the 400. I wonder if he'll be in the 4x4. I could see him, but he also did the 4x8, and I believe he also did maybe the 4x1 too. So I feel like they're definitely trying to get their money's worth out of him.
All right.
Coming down the
Here they
straightaway.
come. Good finish from Kingswood, and he's going to get about
he's
a
gonna-
54.
And
That's
he's
a
gonna
good
pull it
finish.
off. That's
yeah.
he's having a day. I mean, 4x8,
Jim
not too bad of a
Huckman.
leg.
No. Yep.
And then he did, I believe, he did the 4x1, not too bad of a leg, and then he just won his heat in the 400 meters. So I mean, we'll look to see him if he's in it anymore. And we're gonna go into heat 5.
Heat 5 of 5 for the boys 400 meter. In lane 1 is Nolan Gagin from Belmont. Lane 2, Thomas Howlett from Prospect Mountain. Lane 3 is Hunter Dupuy from Belmont. Lane 4 is Jack Fogarty from Maltonborough. Lane 5 is Thomas Sullivan from Berlin. And that's going to round up the 400 meter, and here they go. now we welcome Aiden Cox with us.
Hello.
Who's Aiden Cox?
Yep. We clicked the timer a little bit late on that one, but it looks to be as if maybe Hunter Dupuy from Belmont, but I'm not sure. It's looking pretty
Yeah.
close. There's 3 guys out front there.
Yeah, it looks like Belmont
Yep.
seems to be taking a good lead with
Couple
What is
guys
that?
behind him, like maybe Moltenborough and Berlin.
Berlin seems to be in second.
Yep. They're coming pretty close, but this timer may be a little bit off by about a second.
Yeah, and here comes Belmont. Seems to come up with the win.
Yep. He's going to try to close it in. It's going to be a pretty good time. Probably like a 52, 53.
Yeah.
And now that will round off all the 400 meters. And on to the next, we're going to do the women's 300-meter hurdles. Aiden will introduce all of these women.
In Heat 1, in Lane 2 is Reese Clark of Guilford. In Lane 3 is Nathan Cohen King, sorry for the pronunciation, and from Laconia. And in Lane 4, Sindal Vansteenberg from Guilford.
While they put up these hurdles, we might take a little break and look at one of the field events or so. But we'll be back to these hurdles because they're just taking a little time to put them up. Looks to be a Kennett girl, just made it over on the pole vault. Looks like someone from Interlakes is about to go on the pole vault. It can be on YouTube. You just type in Hampton Track and Field and you can watch the whole race. Like everyone, it's just being live streamed.
Results for the girls long jump. In 6th place, Ashton Galimpi of Prospect Mountain.
We have just received the results from the men's high jump, and we will list off the top 5. In first place was Jack Parker from White Mountains with a height of 6 feet 2 inches. And closely followed was Reed Wilkins from Newfound Region with a jump of 6 feet. And tied with him was Ben Corbin from Kearsarge with also a jump of 6 feet. Then in fourth place was Charlie Carpenter from Plymouth Regional with a height of 5 feet 10 inches. And then rounding off fifth place was Bryce Hall from Belmont with a jump of 5 feet 8 inches.
And it looks like the
300.
girls' 300-meter
Yep.
hurdles just begun. And it looks like Laconia has an early lead, though Guilford seems to be right with her.
They're pretty tight together going around this. I'm going to list off the men's scores so far. It's Kearsarge in first place with a score of 35, and closely followed is Belmont with a score of 32. Then after that is Interlakes with a score of 26. 2 points behind with 24 is Kingswood, and in fifth place is the White Mountains with a score of 23.
And
For the women's, Aiden, you can read off the women's.
Okay, so in first place is Plymouth Regional with a score of 26 points. And in second place is Guilford with a score of 20 points. And tied for third right now is White Mountains and Portsmouth Christian at 18 points.
Okay.
And we just got the results for the men's pole vault.
We're going to hold off the men's pole vault for a minute because we're about to start the 300 hurdles in heat 2 of the women, and they just begin.
And
The timer is a little bit off on this one, but
so
it
in lane
looks to
1
be,
you
yep.
see Sakura Summers from Winnisquam.
Sadie DeJager, I think, from Prospect Mountain, I believe, because Scora Summers is not here.
No, we just checked right there.
Oh yeah.
Sakura Summers. She comes through.
Yep. She came through. In first place was Sakura Summers, and she got the win on that one. That's the fastest time so far out of the 2 heats. All right. Thank you. All right, Aiden, list off the time, pole vault scores.
Okay,
boys.
so
Men.
in first place we have John Cunningham from Kearsarge, who vaulted 12 feet 8 inches. And in second place was Drew Schrewer from Interlakes at 12 feet 2 inches. And in third place was Parker Jack from White Mountains at 10 feet 8 inches. And in fourth place was Sam Colax from Kearsarge at 10 feet 2 inches. And in fifth place, well, tied for fifth place, was Ben Klementovic from Kennett at 9'8" and Bladder Kirk. And the 300 meters girls has just started.
We have Jasmine Williams from Messinic Regional in lane 1, Tamia Ronish from White Mountains, Hannah Caddingy from Kingswood, Santa Seed from Belmont, and Emma Wheeler from Interlakes.
And it looks
This is
Belmont
heat
and
3 of 3.
Interlakes.
So this should be the fastest time of the day.
Belmont
for-
and Interlakes are right next to each other, with Messinic coming up
They're
from
working.
behind.
It looks like Belmont has a slight edge on Interlakes, although Interlakes has just made a pass, I
Yes,
believe.
Interlakes with a good hurdle. And who it comes down to this last hurdle, looks like Belmont with the win.
Yep. All right. Now we have the first heat of the men's 300-meter hurdles. Okay, in lane 2 is when it starts, is Michael Moore from Berlin. Lane 3 is Christian Shepard from Franklin. Lane 4 is Dakota Cross from Laconia. Lane 5 is Eric Smith from Kennett.
Sure. Shout-outs. Sure. What do you want? I don't know, I was just wondering. They can do it. This is for the kids, this is for everybody involved with this. Shout-out for Christian Shepard of Franklin.
We have a request for a shout-out for Christian Shepard from Franklin.
The guy has a cool motorcycle helmet from Harley Davidson.
This man has a cool motorcycle helmet from Harley Davidson. And U.S. Army. All right, here goes the boys' 300-meter hurdles. It looks like Laconia, Dakota Cross has the lead.
Though
Or it's the-
Franklin
Yeah,
seems
Franklin
to
looks
be
like-
over the hurdles first, with Kennett and Laconia following right behind. Though Franklin with good hurdles. Looks like Franklin might take this
Yep.
one.
Christian Shepherd.
Christian Shepherd.
Yep. And this is the man that we just gave a shout out to.
Though Laconia is coming. Yep. Christian Shepherd's gonna take this one.
Yep. Take this one at about 45 seconds. That's a pretty good time. 48. And there we go to round it off. All right. Moving on to the heat 2 of 2 for the boys 300-meter hurdles. In heat 2 is Aiden Rupp in lane 1 from Belmont. Lane 2 is Matt Libby from Newfound Regional. Lane 3 is Fiston Capongo from Portsmouth Christian, who we saw win, I believe, the 100-meter hurdles already. In lane 4 is Connor Leggett from Guilford. Lane 5 is William Walker from Kearsarge. In lane 6 is Micah Edgarin from Belmont.
And Capongo.
Here they go.
And Capongo
Yep,
seems
Capongo
to be
has the
doubling
lead.
back
Yep.
from the 110-meter
And
hurdles.
he already won that 110
and
hurdles.
Matt
He's having a pretty
Libby
good
has
day.
scratched.
Yep, Matt Libby looks to have scratched.
And Capongo seems to be taking this
Yeah,
one by a lot.
Capongo's just taking it out at the beginning.
He just
hard
knocked
as he
down a
can.
hurdle,
Yep.
not the best hurdle. Right over that
All
one, he
right, that was a
recovers.
smooth hurdle, yep.
Looks like
He
he's gonna
looks
take
really
this
good. Yep,
one.
he's going to take this. This is going to be a pretty fast time. Let's see if he
Yes.
can get
Let's
the
see
other
if he
time.
can finish.
All right, he's going to finish.
He's using his arms.
All right, there's a 42. That is
42.
fast.
Yes, that is much faster.
All right, so that looks to be Fiston Capongo has won 2 events today,
Yes.
and that is keeping Portsmouth Christian. He's got 20 points for them now.
Mhm.
That's keeping them in the mix. And now up next
is
looks to be
the 800.
the 800, yeah.
Hey.
Evan, we need the sheet for the 800. Oh, is this it? All right, we have the sheet for the 800. Let's do-
Yes, I got it. Okay,
Here comes the
so
800.
in heat 1 of 2, we have Michaela Palmer of Belmont, Jenny Gannon of Guilford, Jasmine Piper of Winnisquam, Bella Cronin of White Mountains, Aurora Kuto of Belmont, Elizabeth Barker of Plymouth Regional,
There we go.
Grace Ajarel of Kennett, Caroline Dean of Guilford, Manon DeGrief of Newfound Regional, Elizabeth Ralph of Guilford, Elena Uiker of Guilford, Bethany Kashi of Portsmouth Christian, Chloe Jackson of Belmont, Erin Berger of Kearsarge, and Sophie Callahan of Masonic Regional.
Thank you, Aiden.
Seems Michaela Palmer with an early lead from Belmont.
And we have just received the results from the men's 400 meters. I will list off the top 5 right now. In first place was Hunter Dupuis from Belmont with a time of 51 seconds and 51.25. Second is Thomas Howlett from Prospect Mountain. Third, Jack Forty. And fourth, Tom Sullivan. Fifth is Jim Huckman. And as we approach the 400-meter mark, it looks to be Belmont's Michaela
Palmer.
Yeah, Michaela Palmer.
And Guilford. And
Yep, 2 Guilfords and then another Belmont. So
yep.
it's a race between Guilford and Belmont for this one.
Yep. Let's see. Looks like
Yep.
looks like Belmont is pulling away, but let's see if the 2 Guilford girls
I
can
think
work
they're
together
about
and pull
to
up
drop
them.
the time quite a bit because
Yep. Yeah, it seems like Belmont won't be all
Yeah.
alone.
He's like 5 hours here already. Dude, I'm telling you, it's like 20 minutes. 30 in and out. You gotta fix your hair up. I don't have that long hair. It's gone. Mom's making me go to all there.
it looks
we
to be
see-
Michaela Palmer has kept
Yes,
that lead
and-
for Belmont.
And Aurora Kuto seems to be moving up into 3rd, right behind another Guilford. So let's see how she can move up. She seems to be going by. Yes, and now we have. Yes, and she completes
there's
the
about
pass.
150
so now there's
meters
a
up.
battle
Yep,
for
there's-
second. Looks like
Yeah, there's
Caleb Palmer will take this for
3
first.
girls, and it looks to be one of the Guilford girls is going around. She's going for the pass.
Yep, let's see if Belmont can go 1-2,
Yep.
but there's
Belmont's going to try.
3.
Oh, the first girl from Belmont looks to be getting pretty tired.
Let's see if Belmont can finish.
She's got to finish strong to get his first place.
So Belmont's going to get first. Let's see this battle for second. Belmont and Guilford. Looks like Guilford's going to make the pass.
Going to take
And
second,
so
and
we have
Belmont's going to take third.
Belmont, Guilford, Belmont, and then Guilford.
Introduce, we have Cam Daly and Evan Tangley taking over
All
for
right.
the rest of the
We'll have Cam Daly and Evan Tanguay taking over for a little bit. The rest. All right. Welcome.
So we are back,
All
and we have Cam Daly joining us.
I gotta stop the timer here.
He's actually a New Hampshire track and field alumni, so
A little removed.
a little.
Just 2 years, but I'm back. So what, we got a heat of the women's 800 right here?
Yes, this looks like to be the
Is this a fast heat? What's that?
right here. So
Oh,
this is
cool, I
the
got it right
second heat of the women's 800, and so it looks like we have
2, cool. Can you read these?
about 15, 16 athletes in this one, and led off by Lily Gendel from Portsmouth Christian.
Whoa. This timer tricked me on the clock right here. All right, well,
So
looks
again,
like we're off.
we do have a waterfall start, so they're going to come around and the second 100,
Thank you.
the 200-meter mark, or we're going to go and they can file in.
Medium. Dom's probably small. Yeah. Looks like we got some results here while this is going off. So through, how many events is this? Not too many.
About halfway through the meet.
Yeah, about halfway. So we got the women's 300 hurdles. So Santa Saeed out of Belmont gets first with 51.26. Emma Wheeler of Interlakes, 51.34. And Tammy Aronish of White Mountains round out the top 3. So it looks like a pretty close race out of both the men's and the women's races here. But it looks like Guilford on the women's side is defending their home turf. That's pretty sweet. So it looks like we're coming.
This looks
through the home stretch of this women's 800.
Looks like you got about a pack about a 3 to 4 with Portsmouth Christian, Kennett, Guilford, and another Kennett. So it's really the top 4 altogether. Then you got Guilford kind of hanging right in behind. That's Arias Steven, and then you got a nice pack towards the end of it. So it's kind of a. We'll see how it battles out for the front spots. Top 3 look pretty solid. You got a 4th hanging in there. But it looks like it's Caitlin Fay, possibly, of Kennett, trying to make the move and go.
And this is a fastie here, right?
Yeah, this is the second of 2 heats, so this is the final.
Yeah. What's fun about this meet is that a lot of these teams will see each other next weekend.
It's kind of like the pre-state.
Pre-state's a league meet. This is my 6th one I've
Wow.
been for.
Wow.
I went to 4 myself, and I've been a spectator at the last 2. But it's a fun time. It's been at this track for a few years now.
Well, it's a nice setting. It's a lot different than you get. Like I had Seacoast Championships yesterday.
Last night.
Yeah, and it's a lot different of a setting. You get the mountains in the background.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a really nice area.
I was in the dirty city of Providence for the past few months, so I'm nice and refreshed.
It's nice to get back.
So looks like we're coming down this home stretch. It looks like a battle for first
Looks like
place.
Caitlin Fay and Hannah Thommer from Kennett are battling with Lily Gendel for Lily Gendel will take the win from Portsmouth Christian.
Yeah. Wow. So it looks like they went out kind of hard.
And it's really
about
fouling now.
2:30. Yeah, the wind's kind of picked up too.
The wind is it's slowly picked up throughout the day. It's kind of cooled off a little bit, but it's not bad for distance events.
No, it's pretty nice. I expected it's cooled off recently too. It's kind
Yeah.
of nice. All right, so this looks like the. Do you have those? Yeah, thank you.
So now we're going to hop into the men's 800. We have 2 heats of this. And the first heat is led off by Joseph Young of Berlin with Oscar Miller of Bishop Brady. And second and third, you have Edward Stoll from Kearsarge, and that rounds out the top 3 for the first heat.
All right.
And there's 14 athletes in this heat, and in the second heat you're gonna have 13 athletes.
Yeah.
Actually 12. It looks like we might have one scratch.
So another thing that they actually seed. So they're one second, I'm trying to start this. So they have qualifying times. I don't know. Did the Seacoast Championship have that last night?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got
it's qualifying
standards.
time.
So it makes it actually even closer to these team
Well, yeah,
competitions.
it's more competitive. I mean, because you're not going to get the people that can kind of just pop in. You got to run pretty close to those times to kind of even be considered for it.
And there's two small heats of these distance events. There's not too many people.
This is probably, to be honest, the fastest meet I've been a part of. Like these.
Really?
Go,
it's
go.
quick. You know who it is? It's Scott Clark.
Yeah,
I don't
that's what
know
Cox was saying.
where Scott is.
He's straight ahead.
But I've known him, and I used to race against his son, and he is quick. He's strict. I've been yelled at by him a few times. And it gives me a smile, but so it looks like we're coming near the home stretch of this men's 800.
Looks like Kennett in first. So it looks like we have Alex Klemenovich from Kennett, who is leading it off with. Looks like Oscar Miller of Bishop Brady in second with it looks like Joe Detola.
I used to babysit Joe.
Did you?
Yeah. So it looks like we're through in 106. Hopefully this goes a little fast. Looks like Joe's trying to make this a race.
He's going to make a move on the outside on the corner. That's a ballsy move right there.
So we got some more results of the men's 300-meter hurdles. So it looks like Fiston Campango of Portsmouth Christian out in front, way out in front. Like he won by like 2 seconds. And 43.5. Connor Leggett of Guilford in 45.49. Then rounding at the top three, it's Christian Shepherd of Franklin in 46.99. So all those teams compete next weekend. So this is a lot of the big competition for next week. I know when I was on teams here, we would always try and match up against Guilford and Kearsarge, and we try and kind of show them what we got.
It's kind of similar to the Seacoast with
Is
us.
it?
Yeah, because you have Oyster River there. You have
Cool.
Portsmouth. So you kind of see how you compare with them.
Yeah.
But, it's been a weird year. There's been a lot of injuries amongst the
there?
divisions. Yeah, it's kind of strange. But it looks like Alex Klemenovich is going to take the win from Kennett with
So he about even
Joe Detola.
even split that one.
Joe Detola getting second. Strong finish from Kearsarge.
We're all rolling in here. Awesome. Jeez. Did you race last night?
I actually did. I ran the 4x8 in the beginning, and then I doubled back to the mile.
Oh, how'd that go?
It wasn't too bad. I did 4x8. We got second, close second, and then doubled back. Wasn't feeling too great for the mile. I ran like a 4:37, 4:38, so it wasn't terrible.
It's always tough to come back that early.
It was quick too. There's very little break in between.
Especially when Scott's running.
Yeah.
He doesn't give you any breaks. Here he is right now. All right. So looks like we're about to start on this men's 800.
And this is the second and final heat of the men's 800, led by Hunter Burns of Kearsarge and Sam Call from White Mountains. Nick Randos from Belmont rounds it out.
So Sam it looks like was in the mile earlier, right?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
he was.
You're going to see there's a couple of guys that are doubling and tripling today, and it's kind of getting a prep for that state meet next week.
That's tough. I don't do that anymore, but
Yeah.
I used to, and it was not easy. It looks like this Kearsarge kid is out quick.
Yeah, this is Hunter Burns, who's actually
Is he the top seed?
he's the top seed, but we'll see how he holds off because you have Cameron Stinchfield, who's leading that pack. Actually, just getting overtaken, but he's right with him, and they're going after him. We'll see what Burns can do in the front spot, but he's coming around. They are cooking right now. It looks.
Yeah, this clock. I might have started a little late, but it looks like it's pretty close.
Still around a 44 around the. It's coming through.
Yeah, he's way quick.
We'll see if he can hold it. That's the biggest thing. If he can hold this.
Yeah. These 800s, man, are tough. I don't run this anymore. But, wow, looks like he's through pretty quick.
That was like a 58, 57, 58. Damn.
And the chase pack come through fast, too. So we'll see what he can do in, like, the last 150 meters.
Well, I mean, the thing is, anyone running by themselves, you got to give them props.
Yeah.
Running by yourself is not easy, especially when you're trying to go fast.
Yeah, we'll see if the lactic gets to him or.
Well, also, you got to give, Daly, when he ran his mile, he was looking pretty good for 3, and then he just took off. And, I mean, that last lap, that's the one that hurts. And he was able to do it by himself, and he killed it. So.
Well, he did. He ran a sneaky 70 in the middle of it. I was giving him splits trying to yell at him.
So he kind of
But-
dropped a little.
He goes out fast. I was
Yeah.
I was talking to him last night. He's my little brother.
Yeah.
Not so little, but
Yeah.
I was trying to tell him, like, man, you gotta go out a little. He's going out in like 30. You gotta go out a little slow. All right, so it looks like it's kind of windy through here. It looks like they're coming right through. This kid looks like he's gonna hold him off of Kearsarge.
Yeah, Hunter Burns looks like it, and then it looks like
he's gonna run decently fast as well.
Hunter Burns is going to come through with Nick Randos in second, followed by Alex Losada.
Lasada, yeah. That looks good. He ran about 2:01, 2:02.
And I mean, hey, he did it by himself. You got to give him some props.
Yeah. It should be fun to watch next week. All these kids out here. Minus Kenneth.
This is the first wilderness I've been to.
Is it?
Yeah, and I've actually been surprised. There's been a lot of good races.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
The girls, what was it? Girls Mile. That was
It
intense.
was fun.
That was fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of fun out here.
You're not going to get a bunch of like big pack mentality races, a lot of battles, but you're going to get those individual like dual battles, which is really nice to see because you don't really get to see those. The last one I remember seeing was what was it? It was Meet at Champions, and it was I forget his name. He had a man bun. It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Liam?
Yeah, Liam Kimball.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was there for
Yeah.
a while. He got me.
I remember that.
It was a fun day. Yeah, we went out trying to run fast.
I remember that. That was a good race. Hey, I mean, you got to give it to him.
Yeah. Sadly, I had to hang out with Liam that night, and I
Did
heard that for about all night.
Hey, but you know, it is. I don't have a kick really, so I kind of get out kicked a lot. But
it's fun to watch. Thank you. That's great. We have them. Sure. Yeah, I'll grab one next weekend. Thank you. That's all right. Yeah, it's sometimes you gotta just try and do it by yourself. You know, that's a hard way to run it.
Well, that's the thing is you go out and you just take it from the start, and I mean, it's a mental game at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, your body can take it, but it's like, can you mentally handle running that?
Yeah. Especially with this
laps.
wind out here.
So
we got some more results while we're waiting on the next event to start. So the women's it's the 200. Okay. So the women's long jump results. It looks like kind of okay. Yeah, we're back. I was hearing a little bit. Maybe I'm stepping on the cord. But 1 second. You hear that? Okay, I'm good now. So it looks like.
We're having technical difficulties.
We're just like
It's coming in and out.
Yeah, the mic's coming in and out. It's happening. I think we're good now.
It's like when I don't know if it's any turn.
Yeah, maybe it's. Yeah. It's like coming in and out of when I can hear myself in the.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Yeah. What's that?
No, there's no echo.
No. Now there is right now, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we've sorted this out.
We're good now. We had just kind of a couple technical difficulties
Yeah.
real quick, but we're back.
So it looks like we're starting of the women's 200. It's kind of hard to see from across the way, but my high school coach is here talking to Mr. Cox, telling him I need a job, but
Yeah.
I beg to differ. Yeah, I know. They're both giving me crap back there. So we'll start this one a little late.
Yeah, so the timing's gonna be a little off just because we can't quite see everything from over here, but still be pretty close.
Yeah, so we're coming down the home stretch of this woman's 200. It looks like Portsmouth Christian out front.
Portsmouth Christian in first with Belmont in second, and it looks like Kingswood possibly in third.
Kearsarge too, yeah. All right, I think we're back. So
just real quick, I was kind of talking with Mr. Cox about it, but so obviously you're in college now.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if you had any advice. I'm going into college next year.
You're
I don't know if you had any advice going into to running and different things, like
Yeah.
how to prepare for that, and what's the change like?
So we're chatting about that earlier. Mr. Cox and I were, and I think the big thing, the big advice I have is you got to sleep.
Yeah.
I took a big. I started running like double the miles that I did in high school.
Wow.
And even this summer, I'm gonna be running like about 90 miles a week, which sounds like a lot, but when you're used to it, isn't too bad. It's about 13 miles a day. So just to manage that, I'm sleeping like 9 to 10 hours a night.
Wow.
And it sounds kind of ridiculous. I didn't exactly do that in high school, but it's so important.
I also feel like you have a little bit more time in college too.
Yeah,
Like to kind of manage the sleep. You know what I mean?
You do and you don't. As we're coming down, take a break from this for a second. The women's 200 is off again. We got the timer this time on. It looks like this might be the last women's heat we got.
Yeah,
so
we don't really have the starting list for this
No,
one, so we're kind of
but-
off. Belmont's in first with Bishop Brady in second, Laconia in third, and Belmont again in fourth.
Another Belmont. That's pretty quick. Yeah, so you have more time. You have more unstructured time, which is exactly what you make of it. So it's like I have a lot of schoolwork to do usually.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of you got to really be on yourself about like if you have 2 hours in the middle of the day before practice, like you have to use that. And with my concentration, I'm what's called like business organizations and entrepreneurship. And I end up writing a lot of papers.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like between when I finish eating lunch, I don't have classes or practice, and I'm just like working.
So it's really managing your free time and getting used to that.
Yeah, it's really trying to make sure that every minute you use, and you gotta have some fun and take some time. And my free time, I'm social at the dining hall, and then I try and at practice, and then the rest of the time I try and just work as efficiently as I can so that I'm sleeping. Looks like we're still kind of in and out.
Hold on a second.
Right. Okay, yeah, we're back on this.
Still, it's kind of weird. I don't know if like kind of having more technical difficulties with the headset, trying to work it out.
But I think we're having a little trouble hearing each other is the issue. Oh, I'm back. Maybe you gotta hold that the whole time.
Yeah, I guess we could try that.
I'm still not really hearing myself.
Yeah, this is kind of.
We're struggling a little bit here.
Yeah.
Hold on, I want to try
I'm
something.
taking over on camera.
Okay. I'm gonna try.
Hello. We're having some issues here.
So actually,
No worries. Yeah, I'll switch to. Hello. Oh, I can hear myself now. I don't know if can you hear me? Okay, cool. Yes, we're coming down the stretch. I'm a little late again on this women's 200. I apologize. We're trying to figure out our headsets here. I'll blame myself. I came in and I think they got a little messed up. Yeah, so again, we're late, but it looks like Moultonborough, Guilford out-lean Kingswood, and then we have Kennett out here rounding out the heat. We're looking at the sky right now, but okay, yeah, we're back on the
check.
Oh, there you are.
We're trying it.
Sort it out. I think it's my fault. Yeah, so we're back. It looks like we have one or two more heats of the women's 200. We don't have the heat sheets, but try and get this timer. It's a little hard to get people staying on the infield. But yeah, we were just chatting about Evan's going to school next year to college.
It's like the transition.
Yeah, it's tough. So we were just talking about like you gotta manage your free time as well as you can, and not too much. There's definitely a line where you start taking yourself a little too seriously, and you're not having fun, and that kind of takes away from it.
No, you were talking about how you don't really double or anything or triple anymore. Is it like because of just the training, or is it like the coaches just want you to focus on one thing?
What's that?
So you're talking about you don't necessarily double or triple or kind of go to, or you don't really do some
in
of those
events.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's mostly just like a scheduling thing when it comes to. So basically, like our season. So I run at Brown, and it boils down to our Ivy League, like it's called the heptagonal meet.
Okay.
So as we're coming down, it looks like Guilford's gonna out-lean Berlin.
That was very close.
We get another Guilford, so that's important for them. If that was the fast heat, it looks like we got one more heat because Guilford's way out front in this women's race. But anyways, yeah. So it boils down to this one important meet, and so kind of until then, you're trying to just like tune up and you're trying to run fast to qualify for the national qualifier, which is like the top 48 times in the East. So you're kind of like you might take one shot at running so I run the 5K and the 1500, and so you might take one shot at running really fast, but the rest of the time you're just like your training is so difficult and the racing is like pretty taxing. So you're not racing as much and you're just focusing on like one event. And then when it comes down to the championship meet, I've opted out of running. Oh, sorry, I'm a little late on this women's 200. I've opted out of running the 10K, which is a long ways. I might be tricked into it.
That is a long race. That's what I'll be running.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, it's 25 laps on the outdoor track, which is a little. Thank you. It's a little much for me. So it looks like we just came through with this women's 200. We're trying to figure. We just got the heat sheet, so we're trying to figure out what heat this is.
So I want to say that might have been 4.
Was it
3 or 4?
Okay. So we got these all.
Because we'll look at. So if actually let's take these 3. Okay. So I want to say that was at least 3.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. So we had.
So we'll see.
This one. I gotta bounce at some point because my brother has his prom that I have been tricked into going to. But all right, so it looks like we're actually off on this men's 200. So we were a little confused for a minute.
So are we in the men's now?
That was the fast heat of the women's, yeah. So we were.
Okay, so now we're in the heat 1 of 7 of the men's. We have Kyle Plaza from Belmont and Keegan Moore from Laconia, and lanes 3 and 4.
Yeah. Again, we apologize with this time, and we.
So
it looks like a battle.
It's actually gonna be pretty close.
Oh no! You gotta finish. Oh, nice job.
Oh,
that's a tough way. It looked tough. He might have rolled his ankle or something.
Yeah, it looks like it could be an ankle.
We got a guy down on the track. That's too bad.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. So, yeah, we were saying I end up just running the 5K, which is on the Sunday of our championship weekend. So I kind of don't really. I could double back for the 4x8, but it's about an hour after, and
it's a little close.
And I'm not exactly we got guys on our team who can run way quicker than I can, so I'm not doubling a lot. Indoors, I'm always open for a relay. I run the 3K indoors, which is on the first day, and then the second day, as we go off in this men's 200. I'm always open for a relay, so we run a DMR, which is very fun.
Yep.
And I've been on the 1200 leg, which is fun. So looks like we're coming down on this. So what's this heat? This is
heat 2, and it looks like we have Samuel Tuck from Franklin in lane 1, who's looking pretty good. Kingswood in 2, which is Ben Goslin, and that's edged out. So it's good. That was a close one. I'm not quite sure who got that. It looks like Franklin might have had it.
Took that one, yeah.
But now the last question I'm going to ask is, cross country or track? Which one do you like better? And as a college runner, obviously the distances are a little bit different.
Yeah, it's tough. I gotta say cross country.
Yeah, there we go.
That's kind of just even from like a racing standpoint, it's a little less intense because you're out there for college cross country is 8K and then championship meets are 10K. Which is cross country is a little better suited for me because I'm a little bigger and I do a little better with the mix of terrain, and I'm okay with not having like a rhythm.
I just like having something different. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because
yeah.
track, you get the same thing over and over
Uh-huh.
again. Whereas cross country, you might run the same course, but it's different every time you go.
Yeah. So a lot of our courses are not super exciting.
I do like Brown's course though.
Brown's course is short.
It's my PR.
It's verified short.
Really?
It's fun through there. We work out in that park a lot. That's kind of the reason that I enjoy cross country better. So we're coming down. We got Belmont out in
in
front.
first, which
And
is
it looks
going to
like
be
Kennett's going to challenge, but that was
Devin
close.
Bricknell from Belmont and with Bryce Hill from Kennett, which was
that was
very
close.
close at the end.
So we were saying that, yeah,
You like
cross
the park?
country. We work on that park. I kind of like track. Ends up, our distance guys get split up into a few different groups, and I'm kind of in between. So sometimes I have to work out with different groups, and it's just less cohesive. And so the way cross country works out is we got like 15 guys out at a park working out together.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
so we're like in a line, just.
So you have like the middle distance for track, long, you know what I mean? Like those.
Yeah, exactly.
kinda
So we
get
got
what
like
you're
10K guys who are not touching the track much, and in the fall we're all together.
So the team aspect is more there
It's
for cross country.
it's a bit better, and it's more fun to get out on that line with a group of whatever you're racing.
The same guys.
7 to 12 guys. And
Yeah.
Opposed to like maybe you're in the same heat as one or two of your teammates.
Well, I just feel like you get to travel a little bit more. I mean, and you get to see a bunch of it's not just the same thing. I mean, you go to a track, you get to travel to a different place, but it's a track.
Yeah, so we're coming down at this. It looks like we got
This is heat 3,
this is
or this is heat 4 of
close.
7.
So
Oh
we got
wow!
Belmont.
You got Plymouth Regional who
athlete
took the
out
win, but
front.
then you had a 3-way with
Yeah.
Hunter
Wow.
McLeod from White Mountains, Alexander Bassett from Maltonborough, and Nick
Wow, that's
Duntley from
close.
Kingswood. That was very close for the second position.
You got these guys all over here congratulating each other. You'll love to see that. So yeah, we actually I got to travel a lot this cross country season, and interesting. I have a funny story from traveling. We went to pre-nationals, which is in Louisville,
Okay.
Kentucky, and great meet, big meet, huge competition, and about 800 meters in, the guy in front of me fell.
Oh,
And it's a really flat course. I'm supposed to run like stupid fast, and we've been like waiting for this, and I'm super excited. And 800 meters in, I'm in like whatever, like 50th, 100th. It's just packed, and I go down, and then there's nothing I can do. And I'm trying to start this men's 200, and yeah. So and I get trampled.
oh,
So I get just like stepped on. Thankfully, I cover my head, but I get spiked all over my legs and like my thighs and my calves, and I pop up like 10 seconds later, and I panic, which is bad.
yeah.
And
Yep.
so I panic and I try and find my teammate I'm supposed to run with. And so my next day, so we're coming down this, it looks like White Mountains way out in front of this heat, but Kingswood challenging, that came down to a lean. And so, yeah, I panic and I try and find my teammate, and I run like a 2:10 next 800. It's quick, and I'm just panicking. And I find him, but then I die, like harder than I've ever died. And I'm like, I got all this blood all on me, and
Yeah.
we come back to our hotel and we shower and we go to leave, and we're taking a flight from Louisville to Chicago to Providence, where I go to school. And we get to Chicago and our flight gets canceled. So we're like on the plane and we're like, okay, well, we're going to have to stay here in Chicago. And we got school the next day. So the only flight we can find home the next day is Chicago to Tampa, Florida,
Oh.
to Manchester, New Hampshire. And then we have to drive all the way back to Providence. And I didn't really know what was going on, and I boarded the plane, and I woke up when we landed in Tampa. They were like, we're in Florida. And I was like, "That you guys have to be kidding me.
You're like,
We
"What?"
can't possibly be in Florida." So it's kind of it was a long day
So
for
you're
me.
all around.
Yeah, so it looks like we got two Interlakes, my alma
Two
mater.
Interlakes, yeah, we
athletes
got-
out here.
Michael Merrill and
Over
Sienna
here.
Chanelaris.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're all over. And yeah, so traveling's fun. We go to Boston a lot.
What for
And
BU?
race at indoors, yeah, but we also race at, it's called Franklin Park,
Okay, yeah.
which is a tough course, but a lot of cool schools go. And it was in the pouring rain this year, which was really fun.
That always adds to it.
But yeah, cross country for sure. You're a cross country guy. You like that better?
Yeah, I like cross country better. Just like I said, I just like the difference. And I mean, every race is different.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a cross country state champ here.
Yeah. But no, I'm actually going to school about an hour from Chicago.
You are?
Yeah, give or take. I'm going to Grand Valley State in Michigan, which is Grand Rapids.
Okay, yeah. And you guys are D2, right?
Yep.
Those guys are some of those D2 schools are blowing up right now. It must be an exciting division.
Adams State, Grand Valley, and a couple other. But no, it's exciting. I mean, I went and looked at Michigan State and University of Michigan, and they're about an hour away.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of those big schools right there.
They're huge, yeah.
Those were huge schools.
So it looks like we got this Interlakes athlete. I think it's Eli Dupigny out pretty well. He's one of the top seeds in the division. I'm a little partial, but he's coming through pretty strong.
Coming through, and you got Winnisquam. You got Hunter Hinksman.
I think I'm a little slow on the clock, but that looks pretty quick.
Then Chris Caputo from Kent is right there too. And there was a headwind with that.
Yeah, that's quick. You can see Eli Dupigny's hair blowing back. But yeah, I had a bad experience in Chicago, but so I'm a little partial. But here, so we got some more results coming in as.
So that was the last and final heat of the 200. So we're good with that one.
Yeah. So we got two results for you. The ballsy men's 800 race out of Hunter Burns. So it looks like he ran 2:01.9. Nick Randos of Belmont in second with 2:03.6, and then Alex Lasada of Interlakes in 2:04.9, rounding out that top three. So is that big pack there?
We make a switch because the young guys want to do the 32.
Yeah,
cool.
That sounds good.
Yeah, so we're gonna make a switch.
We're gonna bring Luke Kasich and Aiden Cox back onto the mics, and it was good talking with you.
Yeah, nice to talk to you too, man. I'll be back next week.
T3.
Yeah. So.
Audio.
All right, awesome. Yeah, no problem.
Aiden, get the. All right. Here goes the girls' 3,200 meter run. We don't yet have the names of them, but they will be retrieved quickly. Aiden, get ready. Okay. Here is the list of the girls' 3,200 meter run. Defending champ of the state meet is Alice Riley from Belmont in lane 1. In lane 2 is Kimberly Bowles of Kennett. Lane 3 is Jenna Bears of Kearsarge. Lane 4 is Riley Stewart of Kennett. Lane 5 is Hannah Thelmark of Kennett. Lane 6 is Melissa Brown from Kennett. Lane 7 is Hayden Keene from Kearsarge. Lane 8 is Naomi Ingham from Prospect Mountain. Number 9 is Sarah Carpenter from Kingswood. Number 10 is Helen Cotprit from Moultonboro. And 11 is Madison Ralph from Guilford. Number 12 is Sarah Kasink from Portsmouth Christian. Number 13 is Kylie Bain of Messinic Regional.
And in the lead right now for the first lap is
Elise
from
Riley.
Belmont. Yep.
She was the predicted one to win this. And
in second we have Bowles.
Kennett, Kimberly
And
Bowles.
they go through around like 79.
Yep. So that's probably about their pace. What do you think they're?
9.
No.
I think Riley's going for the win, so it's going to be
Yeah.
11:45
They are predicting 11:45 to 12 minutes for Riley for the win.
And it seems like Riley and Bulls are pulling
Yep,
away from the rest of the pack.
They're just trying to gap the rest of the pack and see what they can do.
And, well, it seems like they're just pulling away, though you have Stewart, another Kennett, and third.
Yeah, there's a lot of Kennett girls in here.
And then we just have a pack right here near the end.
Oh, there it goes. It was not working.
And here comes Riley and Bulls down the straightaway. Seems to be a little bit of a
Hello.
headwind.
All right.
And they go through the 800 around 249, 250.
249, 250 gets them in there they're on 11:15 pace right now. And my name is Luke Kasich, and my voice just got really deep.
I'm back. Never mind, I was always there.
And we have the results of the women's discus.
Yep.
In first place from Plymouth Regional with a throw of 100 feet and 10 inches is Rebecca Crane. And in second place from White Mountains with a throw of 98 feet is Grace Gensheimer. And in third from White Mountains also is with a throw of 91 feet and 6 inches is Sadie Bushway. And from Kingswood, the throw 90 feet. In fourth place is Mason Dumont. And in fifth place from Berlin with a throw of 83 feet and 88 inches is Ashley Lapointe.
All right, back to the 3,200. They're about to approach the 1,200 meter mark at probably around 4:20.
And it looks like it's just a race between Riley and Bulls.
Aiden, what are you usually thinking around the mile into the 3,200?
Usually I'm just trying to keep the same pace and just keep going. And what are you usually thinking around the 3,200 at the mile?
Well, I'm usually in the middle of a pack, so I try to look in the back of someone and maybe try, if they're not like hitting the splits I want, I'll try to go around. But other than that, I just try to stick in it, and then I usually make a move around like maybe 6 laps in.
Yeah, sometimes just looking at like their back of their legs and how fast it's going will tell you a lot, and then tell you when to like go around and just sit. And
so
it seems like Kennett is just sitting there right on
Riley. Yep. So they're about to come through. They have about 100 meters left until they hit the 1 mile mark, which we'll see what pace they're going to be on. I'm guessing around a 5:42 pace around there, which for the 2 mile, that would be at about a 11:30. So,
well, looks like they're gonna come by at around 5:50.
5:52.
5:52.
Which is an 11:44 pace. What is your favorite race to run on the track, Aiden?
Mile or 2 mile, though I haven't really run many 2 miles.
Yeah. What's your PR in each of them?
I think 4:46, and I haven't really run a 2 mile.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the places haven't really changed.
Yeah, the places have stayed the same.
Just
I haven't really seen
I
like the
see-
back, but
I see Kenneth. I see the gap between Riley and Bowles is sort of opening
Yeah.
up a bit, but might just be going around these
but
people.
yeah,
They're
maybe
running
just tactic going around. But
yeah, just running a longer distance, but it seems like they're staying pretty tight.
Riley does look to have her hands up pretty high and her head's kind of
head's sort
side.
of bobbing. Yeah, and Kenneth looks pretty strong, just sitting.
Oh.
Well, it looks
Kenneth
might want to
Kenneth's
make
pulling
a
up.
move.
Yeah, Kenneth's looking pretty strong. Like I think a little stronger than Riley. So if Kenneth takes the lead here, that might actually help out Riley if she can
Yeah.
stay on the back. But they're on 11:54 pace.
Mhm.
So that's right around where they were hoped to go
Yep.
if they keep this.
Yeah, it seems like Kenneth might just be sitting right there,
Yep.
just watching whatever Belmont does, whatever Riley does. How many laps are there? 3 laps. And now there's less than 3 to go.
About 2.5 for Riley and the Kenneth. So
You might see the pace start to pick up as they start their
yeah,
finish.
slightly.
So we might see some changes in the lead. This might be a good battle coming to the last lap. Seems Riley holding strong and Kenneth.
This might be time for Kenneth to go around because
Yeah, so she might decide to start.
it does look
moving.
like Riley's hurting, but she doesn't seem to be losing the lead or gaining. So they seem like they're running the same pace.
Yep, seems like Riley is sort of struggling with this headwind
Yeah.
on this back stretch.
Yeah, this headwind is it's pretty tough. I can feel it. It's pretty
Yeah. Those-
pretty large gusts. It
Pretty
comes
s-
in, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty
And
smart
they are
play.
at about 9 flat with 1 lap or 2 laps to go.
It's pretty smart the move that Bowles is running because
She's just letting Riley
just-
take the win the entire
break the
time
wind,
through.
and now, like, Riley's all worn out. Now she's just barely getting home. And now they're going on the back stretch.
Yep.
Moving pretty good.
Yep.
Looks like Riley might be opening up a little
Yeah,
bit.
Riley seems to open up her lead a little on that back
Well,
stretch.
I'm pretty sure. I feel like Bowles might hold on right with her.
Oh yeah, Bowles looks like to be making a move. She might go for the pass on this.
Yeah, one of
Nope.
the most important things is for her to stay nice and
Yeah.
tight right behind her, so that she doesn't lose any. Now-
Riley does just seem to be hurting, but
Mhm.
nothing's really happened different.
Yeah, they're
So
coming down the
she's
hall.
just kind of working through. So
Might see Kenneth come up and around.
they are at about,
One lap.
they're about to
Yeah.
approach 1 lap to go. Bowles is looking better than Riley, but Riley might be able to hold this off.
Now here's
Remember,
the bell lap.
so
Looks like
10:33,
Riley is holding
which is
strong.
a little over 12 flat pace.
That's pretty good.
So if they drop this, they can get under 12. They have to drop a pretty good time.
Looks like they just picked it up a little going
Yep.
around this turn.
Yep, looks like Riley is going a little faster.
Riley's opening up
She's
a little,
open the
trying
lead.
to finish. Though Kenneth still looks pretty good. So it looks like Riley.
Yeah,
might-
Riley's really taking this.
Yep,
This
it seems
could-
like
yeah.
Riley might be
Riley
opening it up.
all of a sudden has cleaned it up. Yeah, she's looking better now.
Yeah, Kenneth seems to be falling off a bit. Let's see what happens around this turn. Looks like Riley is going to win.
Yep, she's going to take this, but Kenneth is still having a pretty strong finish.
Yeah.
So,
Though Riley seems to be picking up.
yeah, Riley's having a,
Let's see the
Oh.
time.
yep, Kenneth looks to be,
11:35 right
Yep.
now.
see if they can break 12. Yep, they can break 12.
11:40, 42. looks like
Here
they're
they
gonna
go
break
in
12, 11:50
48,
something.
11:51.
Yep, 11:51.
And for
Kennett
Bulls, she's
right
going to
behind
try
her.
to get in under 12.
She
it's
might
gonna
make
be
it. Might
11:59. No, 12 flat. 12 flat.
11:59, 12 flat. And here's a race
Here
to the
comes-
finish.
yep.
Kearsarge and Kennett. Kearsarge is running.
Yeah. And then
Nice
Kennett
finish. That's
and
12:10.
Here they go around. Still pretty good times.
Mhm.
That definitely took a lot out of Riley.
Yep, Belmont
See.
led from start to
Yep,
finish.
Yep.
And here comes the last finishers.
But what about they might have more recent results because this is
Here's a
after
pretty
this.
good
Yep,
finish.
here comes a good from looks to be Kennett. Yep,
Guilford,
Kennett has had a strong showing in this race.
Belmont, and the Scenic are fighting. Good finish from Kennett. She's opening that
Yep.
one.
And after these girls finish this 2 mile, we are going to go over the scores of the top 3 teams
Mhm.
as it is looking pretty close.
Yep, for a good battle. Especially
You
on
guys don't really run the show, huh? 'Cause I never see Mr. Cox here.
Yeah, we did that already.
You know, shaking hands with people. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
You're welcome. All right. So, up next will be the boys 3,200 meter run, but they're about 200 meters left for these girls to finish up, and we will go over the team scores.
just under 14 minutes. Let's
Yep.
see if these girls
See if they
break
can all get.
in the 13s. Like this might be our last.
Yep. She's got to
It's gonna
finish
get
strong.
low 14s
Yep.
for Portsmouth Christian.
So for the team score, in first place right now is Belmont with a score of 55, and this is for men. And the second is Kearsarge with a score of 47, and then third is Interlakes with a score of 32. And that'll round off third place. And then for the women's scores, Guilford is in first with a score of 44, then White Mountains is in second with a score of 39.5, and Plymouth Regional is in third with a score of 38. So it's a battle between Plymouth Regional and White Mountains. And here's a strong finish from a Messinic, and I believe, oh, there's one more, and this will wrap up the girls' 3,200 meter run. So, do you want to read them off? So, Aiden is going to read off who is in the boys' 3,200 meter run.
All right, so, okay. All right, so from Kingswood, there's Cameron Stinfield. From Winnisquam, Richard Foreigner. From Berlin is Sam Stiles. From Belmont is Connor Jackson. From Kearsarge is Trevor Pauling. From Berlin is Colby De La Fontaine. And from Winnisquam is Evan Griffin. From Laconia is Noah Mosiu. And from Kingswood is Devin Holt. From Newfound Regional is James Strockel. From Berlin is Ian LaRoche. And from Winnisquam is Sacha Gerald.
Gentlemen, on your mark.
And they're off. Here goes the boys' 3,200 meters. Looks like Cameron
Kingswood.
from Kingswood is in the lead right now. He's probably gonna try to just stay in the lead for most of this race. He's seems to be an aggressive racer.
Yeah, going out pretty fast. Let's see what they are through the 200. Probably around like 32,
32,
33.
33, yep.
That's pretty quick for 32, though it might just be this first lap just trying to get
Yeah,
out. and
they're trying to get
out
out
of
pretty quick.
trouble.
Yep. That's what I know with my 3200s. I like to get out quick. I know that I race better when I go out.
Yeah,
hard.
you don't want anything else
I don't-
to affect your race.
No.
Looks like Winnisquam
Yep,
just took
Winnisquam
the
has
lead.
taken the lead from Snitchfield.
Richard Foreigner.
They've already been checked in for run jump. They're waiting for you, and they're not going to wait much longer. You're in that third flight. Get
Richard
over there
Fournier.
now.
And they all look
Winnisquam
pretty
going
strong.
out at a 70, 71. So that's a pretty good pace for them. 71 is about at a 920, 928. Yeah, 928 pace. So they're gonna
Yeah, they're
slow
probably-
down a little bit from here,
Yeah.
but just like we were saying, they want to get out in that first the first lap really, and then they'll settle in now. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all gonna try to pack it in. Yeah, at about 3 through 6 laps, we'll be able to tell how the final outcome will be through this race.
Yeah, and let's see what
But it looks
Stinchfield's
like
strategy's gonna be.
Yeah.
If he's just gonna sit on Fournier, or is he gonna
or
go
is he
right
gonna take
around
it?
and try
Yeah.
to push the pace?
It looks like he's trying to sit,
Yeah,
but
because that might be the
but
smartest
it's
move.
really just
with
with
the
this
wind.
wind today. Yeah, I don't know that there's gonna be any blistering times with.
Fournier looks pretty strong.
Yep. It looks like Stinchfield's going around him. Yeah.
Well, right next to him.
Yeah, he's going around
When he
for the
completes
pass.
the pass.
And he's running it smart. He's trying to stay on the outside of lane 1, maybe almost in lane 2, so that they have to pass on the way outside. But now he cut in. It looks like there's
It's a pretty early
pack
move.
of 2, but then there's 2 chase runners that are just kind of by themselves, and then there's a pack of 3.
We got Belmont and I think Berlin.
Yes, I believe.
And it looks like the race is between
Stinchfield and is going out with the lead right now. I think that's what he's going to try to do, is just try to put it away the whole thing.
Yeah, Joe.
And
look
then
out to Berlin. Berlin seems pretty
Yeah.
strong. They're running from Styles. I think Sam Stills. So now that gap between second and third seems to be opening up.
that's
and
getting
now
pretty big.
It's a two-man race, just
Yep.
like the woman.
I think it's just going to become a 2-man race in this one.
And they're coming through the 1200 at around like 3:44.
The 1200 is at about 344. 344 pace gets them at around a 10 flat.
Yeah,
So
you see
that's
them.
probably about where they're gonna
Yeah,
end.
so just as you said, they're sort of
So
dropping off.
we'll-
But you see
yeah.
that gap opening
Yep,
up between Kingswood and Winnisquam.
Yep, we'll see what their mile time's gonna be. They're probably gonna try to be under 5 minutes for their first half of this race.
Yeah, it seems like Stinchfield seems to be opening up, and though Fournier seems just sort of
He
picked
seems
it up a
to
little,
just
but
seems to be sitting on him, but
Well,
I don't know. It's kind of the
yeah.
gap's growing.
Yeah, Stinchfield's probably gonna pull away.
Yep, it looks like he's staying strong. He's gonna try to keep this lead.
Well, 3,200 is still a long race, so they still
Yep,
got a
they've
while
still
to
got
go.
a little over a mile to go.
Mhm.
They're gonna come around at 5 flat-ish. All right, their mile is going to be at about a 5:03, so that's 10:06 pace. And Winnisquam is also at about a 5:07, which is 10:14.
Mhm.
So we're about to read off the team scores, or not the team scores, the triple jump scores for now.
the men's triple jump.
We'll do the top 5.
Yep, we have, and from Interlakes in first place, Owen Billen with a jump of 41 feet and 7 inches. And in second place, Kevin Scanlaver, sorry for the pronunciation, from White Mountains with 39 feet, 8.5 inches.
The wind has picked up quite a bit.
In third place, Sindor Gamachi from Guilford with 38 feet and 5.5 inches. And in fourth, Burhan Kadane from Kearsarge, 37 feet and 11 inches. And in fifth, from Kingswood, Devin Wade with a jump of 37 feet and 7 inches.
All right, Stinchfield goes across at about a 6:22, which is getting them at about a 10:08, 10:10-ish pace.
It seems like Winnisquam is out of it.
Yeah.
So we'll watch if Belmont here taking a lead around Berlin. We'll see if Belmont can pick up second place. Looks like Stinchfield is doing well.
All right, it looks like, yep, Stinchfield is continuing to extend his lead, and he's gonna probably try to finish under 10 minutes, but that's he's gonna have to pick up the pace quite a bit to do that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty hard to pick up the pace too much in the 2 mile at the end, but.
And I see a little surge from, it looks like Fournier maybe. Though, I don't know.
Hello.
Fournier looks okay.
Stinchfield goes across at about a 7:42, which will have him at 10:16 pace.
Let's see if Stinchfield might pick it up.
Yep, there's the Belmont boy, and Berlin,
Connor Jackson.
Kearsarge and Laconia. Stinchfield is seeming to look good. Like he seems pretty comfortable because it's kind of hard to run on your own in a 3200. It's like you have no one to really push you.
He seems like he's sort of settled into a pace.
He's got a certain pace he wants to follow.
You might want to pick it up a bit though.
Yeah, and it's also when you're the front runner, it kind of helps to have people to go by, like that's your lap. Yeah, like you can push with them, and they can help. You can draft off.
All right. Seems
here he goes, and he's about to have the bell lap.
Yep. Let's see what he can do
gonna
on
go
this
through.
last lap, all by himself with a headwind.
By himself with a headwind. That's pretty tough. Yep, it's going to be at a 9:01, which is at about a little over 10:20 pace.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like he's going to break 10.
He's probably not going to break 10, but
this will still be a pretty fast time.
He'll still try to do this.
And
wait. Oh, that guy thought he... Uh-oh.
All right.
There's a bit of confusion. He thought he finished.
Stinchfield is opening up.
Yep, Stinchfield.
He's going to get the win pretty easily, but let's see if
yeah, Stinchfield's opening up pretty well. He's had a
see if Belmont can catch.
Yep.
See if Belmont can catch second place when it's called.
Oh, he's going to go try to work around his teammate.
Here comes to the home stretch.
Go around. Home stretch.
And he's going to come in around 10:09, 10:10, and 10:14. And here's a race.
Stinchfield is going to win the Wilderness track meet of 2018.
And here's a race Oh, it looks like Winnisquam got a little square.
Yep,
scare
Winnisquam
from
ended up getting
Belmont.
it. And Belmont
Comes
is
through
going
at
to come in close.
10:28
Yep,
and 10:31.
10:32.
Good kick by Belmont to almost get
Yep.
second. He
And there's
closed that gap.
Kearsarge.
Kearsarge, 10:39.
Yep.
was
Kearsarge got a bit of a confusion. He thought he was done with one lap to go.
Yeah, looks like Berlin might have
That
fallen
could
off
have
a little.
messed up his race a little bit.
That was a good fight for second from Belmont. He came back from like 50 meters.
Yeah.
And here. And
Winnisquam is, I believe, done. No, one to go. All right, we have just received results from the women's shot put. In first place from Newfound Region with a throw of 33 feet and 1/2 inches is Ocean Sokog. In second place from Winnisquam with a throw of 32 feet 8 inches and a half is Gabby Isabel. In third place from Newfound Region with a throw of 32 feet 6 inches is Ashley Duckett. In fourth place from White Mountains with a throw of 32 feet and 5 inches is Sadie Bushway. And running off fifth place is from Plymouth Regional with a throw of 31 feet 5 inches, and it is Rebecca Crane. And here we see a pretty good finish from Berlin with the last sprint. I believe it's the 4x4 relays that are going. Okay. I'm going to let Evan Tangway take over my position. Signing out.
And I am back, and I'm going to be working with Mr. Cox over here.
Hello.
And we are going to be doing the 4x400 meter relays for the women. And we don't actually currently have sheets
For the start list.
So we're not quite sure, but it looks like we're going to have
Interlakes, Belmont, Berlin.
yeah, so we have, it looks like we have, what is it?
Laconia.
Newfound Regional. We're going to have Interlakes. We're going to have Belmont. We're going to have Berlin. We might have something like Kingswood. And then another, yeah, and so it should be pretty good.
Yep.
I believe this is one heat, but I could be incorrect. There might be two looking at this now.
Yes.
So we're going to see how this goes down. It's one of the last couple of events.
And
it should be pretty fun. He just kind of tricked us. Everyone's got to stand up, stop movement, and we should be
Did you guys announce this yet?
ready to go.
You done team scores yet?
And we are off with the first heat of the girls 4x400 meter.
We got Belmont in
And,
the lead.
So we're coming around for the first leg.
Got Belmont and I think Berlin.
I believe it could be Berlin. We're not 100%
or it
sure.
could be Laconia. We do
Actually,
not have,
it might be Laconia now that I'm looking at it.
yes, we do not have the start sheets for this.
So we're kind of just playing it by what we see. But
we'll see down this home stretch though.
But the nice thing about the 4x4 is the first lap you got to stay in your lane, and then the second on you can cut in and.
Looks like Messinic actually.
Oh, you're correct. Messinic is red. We have Interlakes in the blue, Newfound in the white and green, and then we're gonna have the
It looks like
Belmont in first
hmm
in the black, and Belmont's coming in with a nice handoff.
69 or so. Split. For
So they're going to
Belmont.
stay in their lanes. I believe that you could. I think you might be able to cut in once you get to the back straight. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think you can. I'm not a 4x400 meter runner all the time. I have occasionally, but we'll see if they cut in right here. And
Looks like they did.
I believe they did.
Looks like Belmont opening up a little.
Belmont's looking pretty solid, but you can't count out
Yeah.
Interlakes, and then you have Newfound right on their heels. So there's
Yeah,
a
these relays can change pretty quickly.
one
in
handoff can
leg.
really change this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can lose and earn like 3 or more seconds depending on how good you're.
Well, I mean, if you drop the baton, there's a lot of things that can happen.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if you've been in a relay where you've dropped the
Yeah.
baton, but or had a bad handoff. But it does affect not only like the actual
Yeah.
race itself, but it affects you mentally because you're like, now I got to go and get back into this. But they're coming down the
Looks like
straightaway.
Interlakes might have closed the gap a little.
But Newfound is not far behind, still kind of feeding off of them. Belmont's still got a comfortable lead though.
Let's see what these next legs will do.
This
how
leg
they
right
will
here.
respond.
A lot of people kind of miss their third leg, and they aren't really prepared for it. They don't necessarily have the strongest leg for the third leg, and that's what really makes a mediocre team to a good team.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it looks like right now Belmont's doing pretty solid. We'll see how they are on the last 200, but they're looking pretty strong right now.
Yeah. It's like Newfound might go around Interlakes. Might
Looking
be a
really
nice
strong right
battle
now.
for second. Looks like Belmont has a good gap.
If Newfound
be
can
able
get
to
to the
see.
corner, before Interlakes like she just did, she has a good chance of. She is closing the gap. She
Yeah.
has a good chance of holding them off for the handoff, just because she has that advantage. She's gonna make Interlakes have to swing wide to
Yep, she's
to pass.
closing that gap and opening a gap in between her and Interlakes.
It's gonna come down to the last leg. This could be interesting. If
Yep.
I still feel like Belmont has this, unless something
Yep.
goes wrong. But
Let's see this handoff.
Newfound is kicking it into gear. Is in pain. You can tell by her arm,
Yeah.
her body language.
Well,
but
that was a really good leg to get her in some good position.
not a bad handoff. Okay, handoff. Interlakes actually had the best out of the three.
Yep. Interlakes might come back on Newfound.
Interlakes has a shot. I mean, we're gonna see. I can't say anything
Yeah.
to the last 200 meters, but
Though I don't know. It looks
I mean,
like
Newfound's
Newfound
kicking
is
it in
holding
right
pretty
now.
Good. See how Belmont might respond if Newfound catches up.
we'll see. I mean, Belmont had a comfortable gap, so I mean,
Yeah, it seems to be closing just a bit though.
it's the last 200 meters.
Yeah, look at that. it's
Newfound is closing that gap though. This could be interesting.
Let's
this could
see
be very
how
interesting.
Belmont can respond.
This could be very interesting. It is closing quick.
It's gonna come down to the home stretch, the last 100 meters with a headwind.
I feel like Belmont really tried to set it up so they had a gap enough that they didn't have to worry about.
Newfound
Newfound's
might be
coming in.
perfect
Newfound is
position.
coming
Let's
in
see
right
how
now.
She responds.
Newfound is going to take her off the corner. It's going to be a sprint to the end. And Newfound has passed her.
No response from Belmont. Looks like Interlakes might take second.
And Newfound is going to run away with this thing.
Belmont is gonna drop to third.
Belmont could lose. Interlakes is coming up. Can Belmont hold her off? No, and Interlakes will pass.
Newfound with a time of 4:48.
And then
And
4:50
and 4:52, 51.
Great race. Congratulations to wow, Newfound.
With a great last
That was
leg.
we didn't think anything until the last 200. That 200, damn.
Newfound went from third to win.
But yeah, and the thing is, Newfound was out of it at one point. You saw the gap
Yeah.
that they had.
Yeah.
That was a big gap.
Mhm.
I mean, give it to Newfound. They killed it on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, but you also got to realize, I think what happened was Belmont is they looked at it and they really tried to set it
Yeah.
up that they could have three pretty strong legs and gap them, and it just couldn't hold her off.
Yeah, maybe just sort of fell asleep.
And there's Messina. So now we're gonna hop into
5:32.
the second heat of the girls, 4x4, and
Guilford.
we have Guilford, Kearsarge, Kennett.
Kennett.
I think that's it.
Okay, so for the men's scores, in first place we have Belmont.
That's the updated one.
Okay, so we just got an updated one with the men's scores. We have in first place Belmont with 61 points. Second place Interlakes with 54 points. And in third place Kearsarge with 51 points. And it seems like the gap, like the scores between Belmont and Interlakes has opened up. And for the women's scores, in first place we have Kennett with 58.5 points, and second place Guilford with 56 points, and Plymouth Regional in third with 50 points.
And we have started the second heat of the girls 4x400 meter relay, and we have Kearsarge, Kennett, and Guilford in this one. They're going out. Looks like Kearsarge is kind of cooking right now in the front. We're going to see if she can hold that. And as we saw, no lead is safe in these races. So we're going to you can't say anything until about the last 200 meters of our race. And we saw literally in the last 100 meters the race just changed like that. And we had the first place team that's been running the whole race just drop to third.
And we have Kennett and Guilford both in this, and they're the top two teams. Let's see if
this could really shift things up.
It could decide the winner.
Kennett is actually up by 2.5 points. So what's going to have to happen?
That'll change in lead. Guilford had a lead for most of the meet.
56
to 50, but then Kennett just scored a bunch.
This is actually shaping up to be like a state meet right now.
Yep. Let's see.
Coming through, Kearsarge is holding him off, but here comes Kennett. This is going to be a very close handoff. And Kennett's actually going to edge out Kearsarge. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be very, very interesting. And Kearsarge is going to have to move. They want to score. They need two. They're losing by 2.5 points right now. They have to win this and then hopefully have a 4x200 team that can do well.
Guilford with a strong leg right now.
And this is what Guilford needs. They're down by 2.5 points. If they win this and Kennett gets second, they're only down by 0.5. They're down by half a point. So real quick in the men's 3,200, we have the updated and we have the final list of results. We have Cameron Stinchfield from Kingswood with a 10:15. In second, we have Richard Fournier from Winnisquam with 10:29. And in third place, Connor Jackson from Belmont with a 10:32. In fourth place, we have Sam Stiles from Berlin with a 10:49. And in fifth place, we have Noah Museo from Laconia with 10:49. And that's rounding out your top five. And from your team scores right now.
That's her before. These are more.
Okay, actually, we're going to go back to the 3,200, or we're going to go back to the 4x4 real quick. We'll update the team scores after this. Like we were saying, Guilford needs this win right here. They need to win this if they want to close the gap. They're down by 2.5 points, and if they win this, they're only down by half a point, and it comes down to the 4x2.
Yes, let's see what Kennett can respond to this.
And the thing is, if Kennett wants to keep this, right now what will happen is if Kennett needs to get second in this race, if they want to keep their advantage. If they get third, Guilford will overtake them by about 1.5 points, I believe.
Yep.
If I did my math correctly. So Kennett's going to really have to ramp this up and go for that second spot.
Though it looks like Guilford is opening up, and it looks like these places might stay because look at that gap in between each of the runners. So let's see. Just like last time, there's a big lead in between these.
Guilford is really crushing it right now, going to the back corner.
Kearsarge might catch up because remember,
that's true.
Race,
you can't count anything out.
Close to the same gap, but Guilford still with a very strong leg.
Kennett seems to be struggling right now. They're going to really need to ramp it up if they want to have a chance of keeping that lead. But Guilford is running away with it right now.
Kearsarge has Maya Doobie anchoring, and Guilford, let's see.
Good handoff, decent handoff, and they're going.
Guilford defending champion in the 4x4.
Guilford defending champions in the 4x4.
And as you can see, that their experience is really showing right now. They're killing it right now.
They have
Kennett has closed the gap. This could be good for Kennett, but they're going to have to move right now. Kearsarge is pulling away.
Kennett might be able to make a move in this last. Let's see how they respond and see how they can pick up to them.
If everything goes well for Kennett, they could keep that 0.5 advantage. If they don't, they're going to be down by about 1.5 points. So
Guilford's going to get this win.
Kennett's going to have to really pick it up in this last 200 meters.
And it looks like
looking pretty good. I mean, I honestly, Kearsarge looks okay. I feel like Kennett has a little bit better form right now, but I can't say much because the gap is still there.
Yeah, that gap is opening though.
And there's over a 50-meter gap for the lead, so Guilford is going to take this with ease.
Looks like Guilford, Kearsarge, and then Kennett. Guilford's coming through at 4:10, 4:11, 4:12, 4:13, 4:13. Now here comes Kearsarge. Kearsarge is going to get second, and Kennett is third.
Kearsarge surging down. They're going to get second. This is actually going to
4:25, and Kennett gets 4:30.
My Doobie is also the mile champion today. Actually doubled back, I believe, and that actually just changes up everything. We actually have an update on women's triple jump. We have Emma Wheeler, who we did see run a couple of races. She ended up winning with 32 and 10.5 inches. Sarah Dubois with Maltonborough, 32 feet 7 inches. Caitlin Carpenter from Kingswood, 32 feet 5.5 inches. Gracie Hardy in 4th place from Prospect Mountain, 32 feet 2 inches. And in 5th place, rounding out the top 5, is Tama Ronish from White Mountains in 31 feet and 7.5 inches.
And in this race, it looks like we have Kearsarge, Laconia, Kennett, Messinic, and Portsmouth Christian.
And this looks to be a good one, as I don't believe it looks like there's going to be one more heat after this.
Yes.
If I am correct.
Maybe.
And so
Yeah,
we're going to go through
I
the
see some guys warming up.
looking at the team scores real quick for the men's. You have Belmont with 61 points, with about a 7-point clearing from Interlakes, who's in second with 54 points, who's only up 3 points on third, Kearsarge, who has 51 points. With the women's scores, Kennett actually is taken over, and they have a 2.5 point advantage over Guilford with 56 points, which could change now that we just watched that relay. With White Mountains in third with 50.5 points. We're going to jump into the men's 4x400 meter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing right now. This is the most recent one, guys. Triple jump after event number 30.
We are off with the 4x400 meter.
Messinic with a good start. Kearsarge as well. Portsmouth Christian.
Portsmouth looks strong, but can he keep it for 400?
Kearsarge is flying. Kearsarge is flying.
Kearsarge is cooking right now. This could be good for them.
They're about to go to the 200 at like 25, 26.
Kearsarge is running away with us right now. And it's only the
Kearsarge
first.
is like making a huge gap. Let's see what their second leg will do.
But if you see it, you do see Messinic and you do see, I believe, Kennett. They are ramping it
Yeah.
up right now. They're trying to close that gap. Can Kearsarge hold them off? We will see. This is going to be good. The Scenic is kicking it in right now. They are flying. So is Kennett. They are coming down. They are storming right now.
This is going to be one exciting race.
This is a good
They're
race.
all close. Kearsarge
Is dying. Kennett is actually going to be able to get a little bit ahead. Kennett will be in first with Kearsarge in second and Messinic in third.
Kearsarge might get the edge on this turn.
Portsmouth
Looks
in fourth.
like they will.
Kearsarge is lucky. They actually died off. They weren't able to hand it off, but they did have the inside advantage with Kennett right behind. They're going to be able to cut in, and this is when the race starts, ladies and gentlemen.
And I believe that Kennett's second runner, who's in second place right now, just ran the 100 earlier today, right?
Yep, and we look like we're coming down. Like I said, Kennett and Kearsarge out front. You got Messinic trying to trail a little bit behind. Portsmouth trying to catch up to Kearsarge. And then last, Laconia, it looks like.
Looks like Kennett and Kearsarge are pulling away from the rest of the pack.
And here comes Kennett. Kennett is surging right now. They're trying to make a gap right now. And I don't know if Kearsarge is going to be able to respond. You can see the arms firing on Kennett.
Yep.
You don't see anything with Kearsarge.
See that speed from Kennett, 100 meters.
That is a powerful surge right there. You need that.
Mm-hmm.
And going into the corner, he looks good. Good form, keeping it. This is the handoff. We need the handoff right here.
Kearsarge can close this gap.
Good handoff. He's got to move right now.
Good
Kearsarge,
handoff by
solid
Kearsarge.
handoff, solid handoff, and this guy looks solid.
Kearsarge is closing.
Never doubt the man, but this guy could make something happen.
Yeah.
Portsmouth in third.
Kennett
Messinic
is
in fourth.
Looks
Laconia
like the
fifth.
gap between Kennett and Kearsarge is sort of keep staying the same.
Yeah, staying pretty steady, looking pretty good. I will say I do think that Kearsarge has a little bit better form. Right now, Kennett isn't using his arms that much, and that's not going to help him in the end.
And let's see how Kearsarge's anchor just won the 800 earlier today. See if he can.
Kennett
run
is actually
400.
Kennett is actually gaining a little bit. I will say he's not using his arms too much, but he's really strong overall.
Yeah, that turnover is really quick on this 400.
His
which is
very
really
quick
important.
turnover, very quick turnover. And you can see Kearsarge starting to struggle. Kennett is looking solid. They're going to hand it off with a comfortable lead.
Messinic and Portsmouth Christian are having a little battle of their own for third place. Look, Messinic looks like they just took over the lead.
And here comes Kearsarge handing it off into the anchor, who is actually the defending 800-meter champ from today for the 2018. Messinec's going to get it in third.
It looks like Kennett and Kearsarge. Looks
Portsmouth,
like
very bad handoff. Portsmouth actually just lost a lot of Messinic. That could shape up to be their fourth. They could end up in fourth because of that handoff. We will see.
Yes. Looks
in
like
Laconia
Kennett is going to win.
Kennett is blowing everyone out of the
Kearsarge
water.
is going to get second. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at Messinic just took the lead.
Messinic is actually doing. Messinic actually started to die off. He's coming back. He's looking strong right now. Portsmouth is trying to come back from that bad handoff that they had.
Can do.
And
looks like
Kennett is looking very solid right now.
Yep. Good leg from both Kennett and Kearsarge. Let's see what Kennett is going to come through at.
And Kennett is going to win the
340.
men's. And Kennett is your 4x400 meter men's wilderness champion of 2018.
And 347.
With Kearsarge fitting in a very strong 347.
Oh, let's see. Portsmouth Christian is kicking hard. Messinic is tightening up.
Messinic is very tight.
Messinic coming through at 356 and 359 and 402.
And now we're going into the second heat of the men's 4x400. And we have Guilford, Winnisquam, Interlakes, and Belmont.
Plymouth.
Belmont is going to be in the black and red shorts. You're going to have Winnisquam in the black shorts and the black top. You're going to have Interlakes with the white top, and you're going to have you're going to have Interlakes with the white top, and you're going to have Guilford in the blue top.
Also Plymouth.
Oh, and Plymouth, you're going to have Plymouth with the white and dark navy blue tops as well.
With a little bit of red.
Okay.
Tad bit of red. It's actually more like maroon, but nice try. This looks the shape of.
Belmont, all Belmont has to do is come in fourth or better on the 4x4 to win their second title ever. This is the last race. I'm going to start putting stuff away. Just start breaking down.
And Belmont, right now, Belmont is in a solid position to win it for back-to-back years. All we have to do is get fourth or better in this race to win the title for the second year in a row. So let's see if they can keep the ball rolling and let's go and capture that title for the second year. And we are off. We are in the final race of the men's 4x400, and they are coming around the corner. This is
Belmont with a really good start. That'll help them.
Like I said, Belmont only needs to finish fourth or better to capture their second title in 2 years.
This will most definitely decide the winner. And Belmont with a great lead going to the turn.
It's coming around the corner. Belmont's looking really solid. The rest of the pack's chasing. Looks like we're going to have Interlakes in second.
Belmont is pulling with their arms, which is very useful.
Guilford in third with Plymouth right following, and then you have really wide, you're going to have Winnisquam.
Let's see the split of Belmont. Let's see this time. It's like
Belmont with a 53-54. Interlakes second. Then you're going to have
not a very good handoff by Plymouth.
Guilford. No, I mean,
they had to stop.
This is gonna be a race, I'll tell you. Especially for second. You look at this right now. You have Interlakes and you have Guilford. This is gonna be very close.
Guilford is closing just a bit, and is that Interlakes? Yep.
Interlakes is in the white, in third place right now, going after the second spot, which is Guilford. Going into fourth, you have Winnisquam, and I stand corrected. You actually have Plymouth. You have Plymouth in fourth, and you're gonna have Winnisquam in fifth.
And a great finish by Belmont.
Belmont is reeling right now. They're coming down. Great leg, great first two legs, and hand it off. Good handoff.
And I think Belmont is probably going to get at least
Guilford.
fourth. So I think Belmont might be our champions.
But we don't want to say that too early, though, because there's still things that could happen. They could drop the baton. There's things that could happen, as you've seen.
Second, third, and fourth are still pretty close, but if you look at this lead,
they have a comfortable lead, but anything can happen, especially with handoffs. I mean, I've been a part of a couple handoffs in the 4x8 and even 400s that you can drop them and you get to the point where you get mentally worn out. So if anything happens, you could trip each other up. Anything can happen.
Yeah, right now Belmont is just trying to be as cautious as they can with that baton.
Cautious and careful is really what it is. They got a nice lead, try to grind it out and and try to stay protective over this whole race. This is their race to lose right now.
It looks like
Good handoff. Good handoff.
Interlakes and Plymouth are both fighting for third. So let's see if that might pick up Guilford. They'll look at Belmont.
Guilford with a solid handoff.
Belmont got like a great lead
There's
off
Interlakes.
that handoff.
And there's Plymouth going after Interlakes. This could be a good race for third, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Belmont is going to win, and they're going to be the Wilderness League champions.
Coming around the back straightaway with 200 meters to go. Belmont has opened up close to a 100-meter gap.
Look at Interlakes. Interlakes is might catch Guilford. Interlakes might catch Guilford. Oh, but Guilford just had a surge.
We're going to really see.
Just had a surge. Look at Plymouth.
Plymouth is trying to go for Interlakes right now. This could be very good. Here comes Belmont with a solid victory.
Belmont is going to
coming
win.
Coming
they
through.
Are the champions.
They are the 4x400 meter champions of the Wilderness 2018. Coming through. Is Plymouth going to have anything left? Guilford is going to get second.
Interlakes can hold on. Plymouth is coming in strong.
Interlakes is going to hold off Plymouth. Great race, great race.
345, 346.
So your 2018 Wilderness League champions for the 4x400 meter men's is Belmont with Guilford in second, Interlakes in third, and Plymouth in fourth.
And Winnisquam in fifth.
Signing out. 4x2?
Still looking for the owner of Volkswagen key that was found over by Javelin. Looking for the owner of a Volkswagen key that's over by Javelin.
And I think there is a 4x2.
We're not.
4x2?
We're trying to see.
Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
And as we come to the conclusion of the 2018 Wilderness League Championships, I'm Evan Tangway, and it's been a pleasure to work with New Hampshire Track and Field, powered by Runners Alley, on this beautiful day. And we just like to say thank you. Thank you to Aiden Cox, Luke Kasich, and Mr. Cox, as well as Cam Daly for all pitching in and helping us make this happen. It's been a lot of fun. Signing out. Thank you.
Luke Kasich signing out.